Over 111 years ago, these two teams played on Japanese soil. Waseda University and Stanford University, two premier schools in their respective countries. Now here in 2026, the two teams face off here on American soil. Hi everyone, welcome to Kleinfield at Sunken Diamond from the campus of Stanford University. I'm Austin Oda along with Kyle Morrison. Waseda and Stanford, these are two prestigious universities in their respective countries, and it's so incredible to see them face off today.
Yeah, I mean, how could you ask for anything more, right? I mean, you get one of the best, if not the best collegiate team in Japan coming here to play the Stanford Cardinal, one of the most historic college baseball programs in the United States of America. And for those who aren't familiar with Waseda, they play in the Tokyo Big Six League when they're back in Japan, and they've actually won the previous two championships in the Tokyo Big Six, which is the biggest collegiate conference in Japan. They've also won the most championships in that conference at 49, and so this team is very, very good. They beat Santa Clara across town yesterday 3-0, and now they get their shot against Stanford.
And if you're unfamiliar with Japanese baseball just as a whole, yesterday's game against Santa Clara is kind of the perfect description of Japanese baseball. It's you're going to pitch well, you're going to steal a lot of bases, you're going to play clean defense, and the Bears did just that against Santa Clara yesterday, taking down the Broncos 3-0 in that one. It's not often you shut out a Division I team generally, not often, especially in an exhibition, but Waseda kind of put all of its chips out on the table, and now they're here on the farm to take on the Cardinal. Let's take a look at the rosters. First, for the visiting Bears of Waseda University, their lineup looks like this. Nakamura Shune, the leadoff hitting left fielder, with Osuke Yuasa hitting second at second. Yuya Okanishi, the third baseman, hits third. Kensei Terao, the center fielder, cleans it up. Kaisei Tokumaru, the right fielder, hits fifth, with Hiroto Takahashi, the first baseman, hitting sixth. Nikito Ogata behind the plate hitting seventh. Yurashimo, the DH, will hit eighth, and Aoma Ohuchi, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup. Stanford will have 10 hit on its side. This is an exhibition game, so you get to see a lot of new talent for both of these teams. This Stanford team, with the exception of Rintaro Sasaki over at first base, not a ton of guys that play a ton. So a really good opportunity for some guys to just get some at-bats, get some consistent playing time in this one. And to that point, Quinton Marsh, the left-handed starter on the bump, very high-profile recruit for the Cardinal. And he hasn't played yet this season for Stanford, but this is a cool opportunity for him.
Yeah, Marsh, you talked about it, a high-level recruit. His brother's actually on the team, Tatum Marsh, so Quinton Marsh, someone who's very familiar with the Stanford program. And like you said, someone who may not this year be in the plans to pitch a ton, but someone who definitely the Stanford program feels like could be a big part of their program going forward. And you brought up the fact that this is an exhibition, and I just wanted to put this out there. What we're about to see here today is all about showcasing two baseball teams, showcasing Waseda to the American audience, to the American baseball populace, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's the theme here of today. Let's just have some fun here. Stanford versus Waseda, and I think we will have a lot of fun as we watch these two teams play.
And of course, the big storyline regarding that is the guy over at first base for the Cardinal, Rintaro Sasaki, who it was a first-time thing. No one had really ever done it before what he did, which was neglect to go to the college route in Japan. Took his talent overseas, and now, of course, is the first baseman here for the Cardinal, playing against a team from his home country for the first time as a member of the Stanford Cardinal. And that's so incredible. That's what it's all about. And he's at first, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he hits a home run or two today.
Well, I also think that everyone on this Waseda team wants to strike him out, you know? I mean, you get to see Rintaro Sasaki, who is a legend of sorts in Japan. This is their opportunity to take down a legend.
I would guess that a lot of these Waseda players have played Rintaro Sasaki at some point in their prep careers, where he's the all-time home run leader for prep baseball in Japan. But Quinton Marsh on the slab for the Cardinal against Nakamura Shune, the left fielder for the Bears, lefty on lefty. Shune, who went 2 for 4 yesterday, takes a first pitch breaking ball and misses down and away for ball one. So we get started at 3:34 local time. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are here at Kleinfield at Sunken Diamond. A ball and no strikes, the pitch to Shune, and he takes at the knees for strike one. So yesterday we saw at Santa Clara, none of the Bronco pitchers went over an inning in that one. Would not expect Stanford's to have a very long leash in this one as Shune rolls over to the right side. Rintaro Sasaki watches it out of play.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention, both these teams, they have something to play for after this exhibition is over. We talked about the Tokyo Big Six lead for Waseda, and then for Stanford, they're very hopeful that they can make a dent in the ACC this year. So no need to go out there and get someone hurt or, waste away a really, really strong arm here in an exhibition.
Swing and a miss on the 1-2 as Marsh plants the slider down low and picks up his first strikeout. That was nasty. So the defense for the Cardinal, left to right in the outfield, Court McDonald, Brock Kettleson, Philip Chong, Eric Gion, and Rintaro Sasaki. On the corners, Rashad Hayes and Sebastian David up the middle. Nolan Stoll behind the plate. Stoll, who will hit 10th for the Cardinal, with Brock Sell leading off for Stanford as its second DH. Here's Osuke Yuasa, who takes a first pitch on the outside for strike one. Yuasa 0 for 1 yesterday, walked twice. A little bit low, 1-1.
I love the Waseda jerseys. They kind of have that old baseball feel. It feels like one of these jerseys you could see back in like the 1950s.
Right, yeah, absolutely. It looks like a turn back the clock day, when they would have those in the early 2010s. And you'd get cool uniform matchups. You'd have everyone walking around in old-timey baseball. That is exactly what it looks like.
Bring back the stirrups, am I right?
Please. Stanford in its classic reds as well. Not a bad look on that end. Here's a chopper to short. Hayes goes down to grab it. He's got a fire to first, and just in time over at first base. Nice stretch from Sasaki on a strike from Hayes.
And there you kind of see the attitude of this Waseda team. Yuasa hustling straight out of the box. And one of the things you'll notice about Japanese baseball, which you kind of brought up at the beginning, Austin, is that all of the fundamentals are taken care of. Japanese baseball players are usually very, very good at making sure they do not beat themselves.
Here's Yuya Ukanishi, the third baseman today, as he takes a first pitch slider on the outside for strike one. I was in Japan this last summer with my family, and we went to a game, and early on that was the biggest thing that my family and I noticed was just how fundamental it all was. A lot more small ball, as Okanishi flips this one to center, a long run. Kettleson watches it fall, and that's the first hit of the day for the Bears. But to that point, it's a lot of that. You're not going to really strike out a lot. You're going to put the ball in play. Probably not a ton of home runs, but it's good baseball. It's good, clean baseball.
Yeah, and there's some great power hitters out of Japan as well. Obviously the best player in the world is from Japan. He's one of the great power hitters in the history of the game in Shohei Ohtani. But overall, the Japanese brand of baseball has just been growing exponentially over the last few decades, and now they're at a point where there's some who would claim that if they're not equal with American baseball, they're right behind.
Yeah. Especially at the top end. We saw that in the World Baseball Classic just a couple years ago. This is Kensei Terao, the center fielder and arguably the best player for this Bears team, as Marsh lobs over on the 1-0. So we're likely going to see some players kind of playing all over the place in this one, getting some cool opportunities for some of the guys on both of these teams that don't get a ton of playing time. 1-0. Terao takes down and away on a changeup from Marsh. 2-0. There's already a righty getting loose in Stanford's bullpen, and again, I think it's going to be that kind of day. Waseda looking to draw first blood here in the first. Pitch is down and away, 3-0.
Well, Marsh, he looked like he had great control to the first three hitters in the game. His off-speed pitches were dropping off the table. He was able to kind of spot that fastball on the outside corner, but having a little bit of trouble here with Terao.
3-0 pitch, and it misses again. So right on cue, strikeout, ground out, single walk, and the table's set for Kaisei Tokumaru. Yesterday, Waseda stole a lot of bases. 2 from Shunei, 2 from Yuasa, 1 each from Terao, and another player who's on the bench today for the Bears. 6 bases in a game is, again, not something you see a lot anymore. So 2 on, 2 out. Marsh in another lefty-on-lefty battle. First pitch is at the knees with the fastball, strike 1. Not often you see a 3:30 start either on a midweek game. 0-1, way out in front on that changeup, and it's 0-2.
I'm all for the 3:30 start, man.
It makes getting home easier for both of us. No balls, 2 strikes, already 1 strikeout this inning from Marsh. His pitch is down and away, blocked by Stoll, who keeps it over to his left to keep the runner from second, Okanishi, from heading to third.
That was a very tough pitch to block there. And so the fact that Stoll was not only able to block it, to keep it in front of him and hold the base runners, that's exactly what you want to see from a catcher in that kind of situation.
Stoll is a guy who the Cardinal expect to play a lot this season. He's kind of the backup catcher right now behind Luke Lavin. 1-2, changeup down and in, 2-2.
That was a nasty changeup. When I was talking a little bit earlier about how Marsh wants those off-speed pitches to drop off the table, that was exactly what I was talking about. And hey, a great take there from Tokumaro.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Lunged at, lined softly to the right side, and Sebastian David makes the catch to end the inning. So a hit in the inning for Waseda, but the Bears strand 2. We'll go to the bottom of the first, no score. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Cardinal coming up to bat. Let's take a look at the Cardinal lineup. Broxell leads off. He'll be one of 2 designated hitters. Philip Chong, the right fielder, hits second. Court McDonald hits third. He's in left. Rintaro Sasaki, who's going to get ovations all day long. He's at first base cleaning it up, with Teddy Tokheim, the DH, hitting 5th. Brock Kettleson, the freshman phenom, hitting 6th. Eric Gian, the third baseman, bats 7th. Rashad Hayes, the shortstop, bats 8th. Sebastian David, the second baseman, rounds out the lineup. Oh, wait, Nolan Stoll, the 10th hitter, finishes the lineup officially.
You know, we were talking before the game how you have the old Bob Carpenter's scorebook.
Yeah.
And you only have 9 spots. I have 10 spots. So for this game,
You're lucky.
I am lucky.
Yeah. I wish I were you right now.
These Dick's Sporting Goods scorecards are made so that you can also do like slow pitch softball
Right, yeah.
too. So you get 16 spots, which I didn't know was going to come in handy till today.
Right, and here we are. I don't think Bob Carpenter's ever had to call a roster with 10 players on it, or a lineup with 10 players on it. So, Stanford will send Broxell to the plate, another freshman who the Cardinal expect to be fantastic in his career. Him and Sasaki, 2 of the guys with the most experience on this Stanford roster, and they'll be facing Kotaro Yasuda, the righty, Sel Cheong McDonald here in the first. Big slow windup from Yasuda, whose first pitch, woo, swing and a miss. That was disgusting.
I don't think Sel was looking for the off-speed pitch right there.
It looked like he had a chance at it on the inside, and then it just dove. Talk about a pitch that just dies off the tables. That one bounces in, 1-1.
And in all honesty, that is one of the critiques of American pitching and the way that we bring up pitchers is that we rely so much on velocity, whereas a lot of other countries, including Japan, they teach the off-speed pitches so much better.
1-1. Look at that, 1-2.
I mean, yeah, again, and the thing about these Japanese pitchers, and obviously Yasuda is no exception to the rule, is that they're comfortable throwing those off-speed pitches in any count at any time.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to the freshman Sel, and there's a fastball. And that just looks like it's got a lot of hurry up on it when you play it off the off-speed, the change-ups, and it's 2-2. We'll talk about a throwback. I mean, Yasuda looks like he's got that big throwback motion. It's 3-2 on that changeup down low.
And hey, good at bat here from Sel. That last changeup wasn't as competitive as the first 2, but the fact that Sel, with how badly he looked fooled on the first pitch, has worked it to a 3-2 count. That's a good at bat.
So we'll see what Yasuda goes to on 3-2. We've seen a lot of comfort on that changeup. Full count. Here's the pitch to Sel, and it misses down low on a fastball.
Great at bat.
So the defense for Waseda in the outfield left to right. Nakamura Shune in left. Kensei Terao in center with Kaisei Tokumaru in right. Yuya Okanishi and Hiroto Takahashi are on the corners of the infield with Aoma Ohuchi and Osuke Yuasa up the middle, and Mikito Ogata behind the plate for Waseda. That'll bring up Philip Chong. Chong, part of this Stanford freshman core who played a really big role in the last game against Fullerton, where head coach David Esker decided to take all of his veterans out in that one. Not something you see a ton in a 2-run deficit, and then the freshman came in and flipped the script a little bit. It was a really cool message, I think, for Esker to send, and look, the freshmen, it wasn't like they just competed, they came back and won. 1-0 pitch, misses low.
Yeah, and that's something that great managers have been known to do before. It used to be back when Tony La Russa managed St. Louis Cardinals. Every Sunday, he would play all of his bench players. He wouldn't play any of his veterans, wouldn't play any of his starters. And I think it's good. It allows some of these younger guys, some of these guys on the bench to get experience and also to light up the veterans a little bit.
There's a changeup on the inside from Yasuda, 2-1. So Chong this season 0 for 1 officially with a hit by pitch. Yasuda looks to first, now back to the plate. One hit in the top of the first for Waseda, as this one's fouled off to the Bears dugout, 2-2. Again, this Waseda team took down Santa Clara, which is a really good team, 3-0 yesterday. Yasuda waits, now looks to first. Sell is there after his walk, 2-2 pitch. A little bit high on a changeup, 3-2.
Yeah, that was a tough take there for Chong. And Chong, someone else with some international flair. He's a Canadian, played on the Team Canada 18U team last year.
See if Sell decides to run on 3-2. Not a big lead. Yasuda's pitch. Off the inside, ball 4. And a walk. Back-to-back walks for the Card.
So Yasuda putting himself in a hole here, which we talked earlier in the game about how usually in Japanese baseball you don't see a lot of pitchers or defenders beating themselves. But in this situation right here, 2 straight walks to set up the middle of the order with a chance to knock in some runs here for Stanford.
Well, you don't want to walk this guy, because then Rintaro Sasaki's on deck, and, I mean, that would be the perfect script.
I know the script writers are working extra long for that one.
It is still in the work hours of the day. Squirt McDonald swings and misses at a wiffle ball changeup, 0-1. I mean, that changeup is disgusting. It's really hard to tell sometimes from up in our vantage point. That is not one that it's hard to tell the movement on. A 1 pitch, misses up and away.
I just got your joke. Script writers working overtime. It's still part of the work day.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was a good one. That was high level right there.
Yeah. That's what I do. So a quick mound visit between Ogata behind the plate and Yasuda on the mound, who's walked the last 2 batters he's faced, the only 2 batters he's faced. Stanford with a little bit of action in its bullpen. Looks like Austin Steves is up and walking. There's a righty getting loose as well. Pickoff play on at second. Sells back in safely. McDonald, another guy with a lot of experience on this Stanford roster, a big-time veteran. One pitch. Swing and a miss. That is disgusting.
And they always say you have a good changeup when you can throw it multiple times in a row, where you don't necessarily have to set it up with a fastball. And that's the kind of changeup that Yasuda's working with here today.
Because the fastball hasn't been there. Changeup has. Goes to it again on 1-2, but this one popped up to left. A long run, and unable to make the catch is Shune. Hustling now to third is Sal, and just like that, the bases are loaded for Rintaro Sasaki.
Well, folks, you wanted to see Rintaro Sasaki in a big spot here against Waseda, and it is first at bat. He's going to get to come up with the bases loaded and nobody out.
Japan's all-time prep home run leader. Again, it doesn't really get any better than this. Sasaki now hitting with Sell on third, Chong on second, McDonald after his single on first. Bases loaded for the Cardinal, and watch out on that catwalk past right field. Don't think he's going to take any cheap swings here. First pitch, takes a strike on the inside with a changeup, 0-1. Everyone in the stands has their phone out right now. Leaning up on the fencing. A 1 pitch. Sasaki takes down and away, ball 1. A lot of big smiling faces in the crowd right now. I think everyone can feel what's going on right now. Sasaki, a gigantic recruit for this Cardinal team. 1-1, he was taking a home run swing, and a changeup fooled him, 1-2.
Yeah, he was not swinging for a single there, and why would he?
No reason. He's here to do one thing right now.
This is an exhibition. Won't count against your batting average anyway. Try to hit it as far as you can.
1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Yasuda comes with the high set and the 1-2. Sasaki takes a changeup down and away, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs here in the first. Bases loaded for Sasaki. Yasuda's pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Well, Austin was the changeup that ends up getting Sasaki. And beautiful pitching there from Yasuda as he gets through the biggest threat in this Stanford lineup, but not out of the woods yet. He's still got the bases loaded and a good hitter coming up.
Well, if he can work out of this one, that would be pretty incredible. Teddy Tokheim, 1 for 3 as a freshman this season, but now the infield can play double play depth. So the base is still loaded, 1 out after Sasaki's strikeout. That's the first of the day for Yasuda, and the first out here in the first. First pitch to Tokheim, and that goes to the backstop, and a run comes home, and it's 1-0 Stanford on the wild pitch.
Well, the one thing about throwing a changeup that dives the way that Yasuda's does is it's very hard on your catcher, especially if it goes in the dirt. And on that one, you can see Ogata just not quite able to get his body in front of it, and it allows the first run of the game to come in to score for Stanford.
So, ball, no strikes to Tokheim now, still with a chance to drive in a pair with a base hit to the outfield as the infield comes in for Waseda here in the first. 1-0 Stanford leads this one already. 1-0 pitch. Hit hard into center field, now drifting back to Rao. It's over his head, and it 2-hops the wall. 2 runs will come around to score. Tokheim around second as Terao bobbles the ball in center field. Teddy Tokheim, a triple, and it's 3-0 Stanford.
And early on here, Austin, I think what you're starting to see is these Waseda outfielders are having a hard time with some of the angles here at Sunken Diamond. And it could also be just where the sun is and the way the sky is affecting some of these fly balls. It is very tough to judge and catch a fly ball in Northern California. This is known in the world of baseball. And we've seen 2 plays here in this inning. One where the left fielder, Shumei, and then Terao there in center field just have not quite judged the ball the way they would like to be able to make the catch.
Yeah, that's a really good point, especially when we talked fundamentals earlier. As the first pitch to Brock Kettleson is strike 1. We haven't seen that so far this inning. The high pop-up is always going to be a tough play to make, especially when you're playing back. But that one, you hear it all the time. Ball right at you is the hardest play as an outfielder, and we saw exactly why there. Sunken Diamond, notoriously also a difficult place to play the outfield. Infield is in for Brock Kettleson. You talk about Big Ten recruits. It's everyone in this Stanford order, but Kettleson is definitely one of them. 1-1.
Yeah, he was on the Baseball America preseason freshman of the year watch list. So this is a guy that a lot of people in the world of college baseball feel like has a chance to not just be a good freshman, but the best freshman in the United States.
0 for 5 with a walk this season, but had a big at bat yesterday, or Sunday I should say, against Fullerton. 1-2, hit high into medium deep center field. Terao circles under it, and this time he makes the catch. Tagging from third is Tokheim, and it's 4-0 Stanford.
Great at bat there from Kettleson. You got a runner at third, you got less than 2 outs. Don't get greedy. Put the ball in play, get it up in the air, and knock in the run. And now Stanford up 4-0. A nice first inning here for the Cardinal.
Especially when you consider the bases were loaded for Intaro Sasaki and he didn't come through. Here's Eric Gian, the Columbia University transfer.
If you go to Columbia and then you transfer,
Stanford,
and then you go to Stanford, I think you're pretty smart.
Yeah. Can you imagine what this kid's GPA was in high school? He'll hit with no one on and 2 out now. 4 runs home in the inning for Stanford is the first pitch. A first pitch fastball. We haven't seen that a ton from Yasuda, and it misses up high for ball 1.
I'm saying this not knowing what his major is. I probably should know what his major is, but I would not want to get into a conversation with Gian about astrophysics.
I wouldn't want to get into a debate with him about anything because he could beat me, basically no matter the topic. Baseball especially. Had a great year as a freshman at Columbia. Didn't play much last year, and now here at Stanford, looking to find a role off the bench for the Cardinal in what is a very set infield, but he's a good player. 2-0. Back foot on the changeup, 3-0.
And you talked about his good little career over at Columbia. He was all Ivy League second team in 2024, and he batted .318 in the 2 seasons he spent on the East Coast.
3-0 pitch to Gian. And a strike. Already 2 walks in the inning, then the pop-up single and the smoked triple by Tokheim. Strikeout and a sac fly, the only other 2 outs this inning for the Cardinal. They lead 4-0. The sun is like beaming right into my face right now. 3-1 pitch. Gian off the end of the bat. Tough play to the right side. Charging Yuasa. Underhand flips to first in time on a nice stretch by Takahashi to end the inning. But the Cardinal strike 4 times in the first inning on 2 hits, no errors, and no runners left. Top of the second we go. Already a new pitcher here in the top of the second inning for the Cardinal. It's Dominic Panella, who hasn't pitched this season for the Cardinal, but another local product from Lee High School out in the best city in the world, San Jose. I actually don't know if Lee is actually in San Jose. It's in the 408.
Hold up. You live in the Bay Area, and you got San Jose?
No, it's just where I grew up. San Francisco is still my favorite city in the world. Chicago is up there. Seattle, shout out you, is up there. But I do love San Jose, and I love the 408.
I guess I got to spend more time down in San Jose.
Nah, you don't. You really don't. But Dominic Panella getting a big opportunity here with the 4-run lead. Panella, who is in line, if he closes this inning out, would be in line for a win in this game.
That's true, actually. I guess you're right. It's like when you're watching the All-Star game and you're trying to figure out who gets the win.
Yeah. So Panella, the sophomore from Lee High School, and tell me if I've said this one before, another big prospect for the Cardinal, a big recruit, as he'll face Hiroto Takahashi, and the first pitch is a fastball off the outside edge for ball 1.
And that's just kind of what's exciting about, getting to watch a team like Stanford, a program like Stanford, is that legitimately every one of their players is a very good young talent that can go on to have a great career.
1-0 pitch misses up and in. And it's also one of the cool things about playing these exhibitions is guys that you're not, like we said, guys that you're not expecting to play big-time innings this season are getting some innings. And look, we heard Panella get a big applause as this one's hit well to center, sending Kettleson on his horse up to the warning track, and Takahashi one-hops the wall. He's got a leadoff double here in the second.
Takahashi hit that one to the deepest part of the yard. There's probably a little bit of him that's wondering how that didn't get out, but he put a charge into it. And look, Waseda needs runs now. They're down 4-0, so Takahashi gets him started with a leadoff double.
Here's Mikito Ogata, the catcher, who went 0 for 3 yesterday. Takahashi, his first hit in this little 2-game set against the U.S. schools, the Bay Area schools, Santa Clara and Stanford. Ogata also went 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk. Takahashi 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts yesterday, so this is a little bit better of a start to his day against Dominic Panella. First pitch to Ogata spins him back off the inside, ball 1.
Panella did not play last year, but figures to get a little bit more opportunities on the bump here in 2026.
And if I'm any of these Stanford pitchers, I'm going all out in my 1 inning of work today. This is still a prove-it game.
Oh, absolutely. See if you can get that fastball velocity up in the mid-90s here today.
It's pretty nice out. It's got maybe not 90s velocity feel yet, but I think you could touch some low 9s. You could maybe hit a little PR, depending on how you're feeling. 3-0 to Ogata, who did walk yesterday. Yutashimo, the DH, is on deck. And the walk. So Quinton Marsh, the starter, lasted an inning, a hit, a walk, a strikeout, no runs. That's the second walk for Cardinal pitching today, and it'll bring up Shimo, the DH.
Good at bat there from Ogata. One up there, very patient. And the only good news there for Panella is that walk does technically set up the force out. So now a double play is in order, but I doubt that Pinella wanted to walk Ogata there and put 2 runners on for Shimo coming up to the plate right now.
Shimo, it looks like Stanford is expecting him to bunt, but I don't think Shimo wants to. He takes the first pitch fastball on the outer black for strike 1. Maybe it was wait to see one get across after 4 straight balls. But Sasaki and Gian, the corner infielders, are both in on the corners. As now Sasaki retreats back. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big slider that time. Nothing in 2.
Now that was nasty. That one right there, I would be willing to bet Shimo saw that one coming right down the middle of the plate, and then at the last minute, it just bit toward the opposite batter's box, and Shimo chased.
0-2. That was also nasty. Went to the front door that time with the slider, and Shimo was a little bit late on catching that one.
You got to be careful, though, with some of those front door sliders, because if you hang that over the middle of the plate, a guy like Shimo, he can do a lot of damage with it.
0-2. Rounded softly past third. That'll go over past the third base coach's box, and we'll do it again.
One thing that we haven't talked about yet that I think is an interesting part of the game is that Waseda, they're using wood bats in this game.
Yeah.
Stanford's using metal bats because they're in the
Didn't even
NCAA.
notice that.
So just a little bit of a difference in how both these offenses are working.
0-2. No bat could hit that one. A big slider and a swing and a miss.
Well, it's really interesting how you'd think that the fastball would be the easiest pitch to command for any pitcher, but a lot of times that's not the case. A lot of times for all these guys who have really, really good breaking stuff, they can control the breaking stuff sometimes better than the fastball, and that's the way it looks right now for Pinella. He's got great feel of that slider.
Here's Aoma Ohuchi waiting on the first pitch. It's a fastball. It sizzles up high, 1-0. Ohuchi 1 for 4 with a couple strikeouts yesterday. And that's a really good point about the wood bats, because that makes that ball from Takahashi look even more impressive. 1-0. In the dirt, 2 runners move up, and Waseda's got runners on second and third with just 1 out.
Yeah, right now, kind of back to my earlier point, it seems like Pinella has great control of his slider, but he's struggling really to locate that fastball. We saw it on the first pitch that he wasn't able to hit the location. That last pitch, burying it in the dirt and it going past his catcher, and now there's runners at second and third, and the double play is gone now, really 1 out.
Stanford's infield will play back with the third baseman Gian about halfway. 2-0 to Ohuchi. And it's in the dirt again, and a run's going to come home. That's the first of the game for Waseda, and it's 4-1.
Yeah, right now, Stoll is not having a good time there behind home plate. And what people don't think about a lot is that when the pitcher has no idea where it's going, the catcher also has no idea where it's going. And 2 straight wild pitches there from Pinella. He's got to take a deep breath, regroup. He's still got a 3-run lead. He's got to attack the hitter at the plate.
Runner on third now is Ogata after his walk. A walk, a strikeout, a double this inning. And Pinella gets strike 1 over the heart of the plate, 3-1.
The top of the order is also due up after this. So if Ohuchi can get on base here, now all of a sudden you set up the opportunity for a really big inning here for Waseda.
Nakamura Shune on deck was 2 for 4 yesterday. Here the 3-1 pitch. A called strike by Frank Pflugrad behind the plate, 3-2. Ohuchi thought that was ball 4. But Pinella back into the count on 3-2. The pitch. Line drive to third on a hop for Gian, who looks back the runner, then tosses over to first. 2 down.
Great play there by Gian. That was a really tough hop to field there. That was a short hop over at third on the grass. Not only does he do a nice job of fielding that, but then he does a great job of looking back Ogata over at third base and throws to first to get the out. That is textbook. There are all kinds of Little League coaches who would look at that play and say that's exactly what they want to see from their young players.
So that'll bring up Nakamura Shune, the left fielder, waiting on the first pitch, and he takes down low. Shune, who struck out swinging his first time up. A run home this inning already for Waseda. If they can cut this deficit in half, that would be a successful inning. Had the first 2 runners on base. Shune, a high tapper to the right side. David fields the second hop. There was low to first, but Sasaki's there for the final out of the inning. So run home for Waseda. It's first of the game on the double by Hiroto Takahashi. Bottom second coming up, 4-1, Stanford leads. Bottom of the second inning, 4-1, Stanford leads. Rashad Hayes, Sebastian David, and Nolan Stoll to hit for the Cardinal here in the bottom of the second. A 4-run first was fun to watch for Stanford, who needed that big inning.
Yeah, but then also on the other side for Waseda, they always say when you give up a crooked number, you don't have to get it all back in one inning, but you do want to get some of it back just to kind of get some momentum back in your dugout. So I think it was really big there for Waseda that they were able to score at least one run in the top of the second, and I think it's still a ball game here, Austin.
Kotaro Yasuda on the bump still for his second inning of work. Waseda got a little bit of action going in its bullpen. It looks like there's a lefty out there getting loose right now. That's Tsubasa Sasso. As the first pitch to Rashad Hayes is a called strike at the knees for strike one. Hayes 0 for 1 this season, another one of those guys that came in late against Fullerton. 0-1 is strike 2. Yasuda, I think, might have the best single pitch that we've seen so far today in that big changeup.
The Bugs Bunny changeup?
Yeah. That's what it is. 0-2. Throws it there, and it misses in the dirt. Good take by Hayes, 1-2.
And honestly, Hayes does the best thing you can do with that changeup, because a lot of times, with a few exceptions, Yasuda's not throwing that changeup for a strike. He's trying to get you to swing at it. So if you can identify it early, just don't swing at it. Take it, and that's really the best way to defend yourself against that changeup.
See what it goes to on 1-2. Looking for his second strikeout of the game. Hayes goes the other way. It's hit well out to right. Tokumaro all the way back to the warning track, and he reaches up to his backhand side and makes the catch.
Impressive opposite field power there from Hayes. That ball just kept on carrying and carrying, but unfortunately there for Hayes, just could not quite get it over the head of Takamura.
That'll bring up Sebastian David, who's getting his first plate appearances this season. 1 for 4 last year was David. Hits with none on, 1 out. Yasuda's first pitch. David, line drive, base hit left field as it tails its way into the corner. Over to cut it off is Shunei. David's looking too. Shunei's throw is late, and that's a 1-out double from Sebastian David.
Yeah, all these Stanford hitters right now, I mean, we talked about how nasty that changeup is from Yasuda, but these Stanford hitters don't seem to have much of a problem with it. They're kind of doing a nice job of laying off of the changeup or just kind of being patient and waiting for some of the other pitches from Yasuda, and they're seeing those very, very well. Stanford's had a lot of success here in these first 2 innings.
That'll bring up Nolan Stoll, the catcher, a guy that's played a good amount this year. He's already 2 for 6 this season, and he'll hit with 1 on, 1 out. Stanford looking to push its lead back to 4. The first pitch misses high, ball 1. And again, lucky you, you've got 10 spots plus in your lineup card on your scorebook.
I saw it coming, Austin.
Yeah, right. You're predictive. Throw back to second, and David's back in with a head first dive.
This scorecard also helps me a lot when I do softball with all the re-entries.
Right.
Because then I can just, use a bottom
Well, softball's
line
brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, but it's hard going from calling softball to calling baseball, because I sometimes forget that re-entries are or aren't a thing in each sport, and so it's difficult.
It's like, that meme where the guy's standing in front of all the pictures, drawstring together, and has hands on his head.
Yeah.
That's how it feels sometimes in a softball game.
Right,
There's all the
yeah.
substitutions.
2 balls, no strikes to Stoll, looking to push another run across as he watches the changeup below the knees. 3-0. Yeah, that's a good painting. That's perfect. David's double has him on second. A 2-run triple from Teddy Tokheim in the first, as Stoll takes a strike at the knees. See if he has the green light on 3-1. A B just landed on me, and I'm freaked out. 3-1, fouled off, 3-2. B's looking at my pen right now. See that?
Crazy, man.
It's a big B.
The audacity.
Yasuda struck out 1 batter in the first inning as David dances off second. Yasuda looks back. 3-2 pitch. Now to the plate. Popped up right side. Tokumaru barely has to move as he makes the catch. And about halfway to third was David. He'll track back into second base.
Yeah, David with a very aggressive lead there. I thought for a second that Tokumaru was gonna have a chance to throw him out at second, but David did a nice job of getting back as soon as he could and avoiding that possibility.
Here's Brock Sell, the one of 2 designated hitters. He walked and scored a run back in the first. That was Stanford's first run of the game. It came home in a wild pitch. David on second, 2 down. Ephus pitch. It almost looked like misses up high for ball 1. I wish you all could see Kyle's face right now.
That was crazy. One of the crazier pitches I've ever seen in person.
Throw back to second. Oh, it's just a bluff. So I was wondering if Stanford might also use wood bats, because I think guys, like, it's fun to hit with wood bats sometimes, but I think in a game where you're trying to play, you know, for something, right? You're trying to get more playing time. Got to use any advantage you can. So Stanford is using its metal bats. I didn't really notice in the first inning, just because I wasn't paying attention to it.
And a lot of these guys, they do play in wood bat leagues.
Oh yeah, they do.
So they know how to use a wood bat, but the metal bat is what they have to use in league play and NCAA play.
2-0 pitch is a called strike. I don't think they have to. I think you can choose to use a wood bat. And I say this because, ironically, I mean, maybe not ironically, actually, I think it's probably, there's a reason for it, but Oregon's Japanese second baseman a couple years ago, not Rintaro Sasaki, he's at first for Stanford, Riku Nishida, used a wood bat all year.
Wow, really?
For Oregon. And he would talk about waking up and, like, talking to his bats and asking which one to use. And so whenever I think of a D1 guy using a wood bat, I think of him. And now he's playing well. He's up in spring training with the White Sox. 2-2 to Sell. The other way foul.
That's interesting. I was there anybody who was talking to their metal bats like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Riku was an interesting player. He was easily my favorite Oregon baseball player ever, but he was he was an interesting watch. 2-2 pitch to Sell. Change up, misses low, 3-2. If Riku was in this count right now, he'd fully squat down, face the pitcher, and just have his bat straight to the pitcher until he started and got into a stretch.
That's aura.
It was aura. He was full of it. 3-2. Sell hits it high, down the right field line and deep. This one's got a chance towards the corner. Tokumaru at the wall, and he makes the catch to end the inning. So, a nice bounce back inning for Yasuda as he strands a runner on second to end the inning. We go to the third. Kyle Morrison will take over on play-by-play when we come back. Top of the third inning, Austin Oda, Kyle Morrison. Want to take over?
Let's do it. New pitcher here for Stanford, and it's Austin Steves, the sophomore out of Petaluma, California. He's appeared in 1 game so far this year. It was on February 16th against Nebraska, where he gave up an earned run in a third of an inning, along with 2 hits. So Steves will be taking on the 2, 3, 4 spots here in the Waseda lineup. It'll be Osuke Hawasa, Yuya Okanishi, and Kensei Terao. And so Steve's finishing up his warm-up pitches here. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on this very special day as Stanford takes on Waseda, one of the top collegiate baseball teams from Japan. It's a bit of a cloudy day with some gray, puffy clouds out in the distance, but the blue sky is shining through, making it a great atmosphere for baseball here at the Sunken Diamond on the campus of Stanford University. So Yawasa will come up to the plate, and Austin, you did a great job there with the first 2 innings.
Thanks.
I
have a feeling you're going to do a great job with the next.
I was going to say, I'm worried I'm going to let people down now
No,
after
never.
the show you put on. Yawasa is 0 for 1. He grounded out in the first inning. Steve sets. Here's the first pitch. And that one misses just a bit high. It's 1-0.
When we talk about guys that I think were expected to play a big role the last couple of years, Steves is one of them. I mean, he threw a good amount last season, 7 innings, which might not seem like a ton on paper, but you consider a lot of those came early on. He didn't really perform in those games, but you look at that and you're saying, in my opinion, you see that and you're expecting a guy that he's going to expect to throw a lot of innings, and he just didn't perform, but maybe a bounce back chance here today.
Well, he's 1-2 now to Yawasa, and you talked about the promise that Steves had coming into this Stanford team. He's the all-time strikeout leader, single-season strikeout leader at Casa Grande High School with 158 in a high school season, which is absurd. This is a ground ball over to Gian, and it goes past Gian into left field. And taking a very aggressive turn there around first base is Yuasa. And Yuasa gets on first base with a single, and that'll bring up Yuya Okanishi. So leadoff base runner here for Waseda. Second straight inning, they've gotten a leadoff runner on. In the last inning, they were able to score 1 run. Let's see what happens here in the third.
Well, for any turf truthers, put that one on your highlight reel, because that one took a wicked hop from Eric Gian at third. That is a brutal, brutal break. Because he fielded it I mean, we saw the play he made last inning where it was like, you said it, right? When you are when you're trying to coach a youth team, that's what you're going to play. Played that exactly the same way. It was perfect, and it just took a bounce off that lip of the grass.
So Okanishi at the play. Gian playing in at third. And there's a strike. Taking off for second base is Yuasa, and he'll make it. A little bit of a delayed steal there from Yuasa. He took a big leak, stopped, and then took off for second. I think that kind of caught Stoll off guard behind the plate. So Yuasa with the first stolen base of the day for Waseda, a team that stole 6 bases yesterday against Santa Clara. And now Waseda with a runner in scoring position here for Okanishi, who's in an 0-1 count.
Is Charlie Bates just doing laps? He just like ran behind home plate for the Cardinal. I don't know where he was.
Got to get your mileage in, man. Here comes the pitch to Okanishi, and a little jam shot foul behind home plate that goes into the fans here. And it's 0-2.
That is kind of the angle that a ball would have to be to reach us in the press box. If that was hit about another, 20 feet?
Well, I'm letting you take it, Austin. And if you drop it, I am charging an E10. As throw back to second base, and Yuasa gets back.
Well, depending on who I play for, it'd be E11 today.
Oh, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
Although they still have 9 players in the field. They just have 2 DHs.
Right.
Stanford does. Stanford playing with 10 players in their starting lineup here in this exhibition against Waseda. 0-2 pitch. And this is lined up the middle and over the glove of the shortstop, Hayes. Advancing to third there is Yuasa. He had to stop to make sure that Hayes wouldn't catch it. But now Waseda sets the table. They have runners at first and third with nobody out. And here comes their cleanup hitter, Kensai Tadao.
So that steal looks even bigger there, because if that exact thing happened with the runner on first and he had to freeze at first base, he's out at second base. Is Yuasa the runner that moved up from second, third? But now runners on the corners, cleanup hitter up. This guy had 2 runs batted in yesterday. Here's a chance.
So Steves in an immediate jam here in his inning of work. Tadao walked in the first. Runners at first and third. The pitch. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch there from Steves to start things off. Yuasa the runner at third. Okanishi the runner at first. 4-1 Stanford here in the top of the third inning. Here's the throw to first. And Okanishi gets back. That's a dangerous play, especially when you got a runner at third, throwing to the back runner. And you saw Yuasa, he took a very aggressive lead there over at third when that pickoff was thrown.
Especially because it didn't really look like there was an intent behind it.
Another pickoff to first. And I'm with you, Austin. I mean, Okanishi's not getting much of a lead. It's not like he's really threatening to steal. But a couple of pickoff attempts there from Steves either way. Here comes the 0-1 to Tadao. And that's in the dirt. Gets past Stoll. And for the second time here today, Waseda is going to score a run on a wild pitch. And so it's 4-2 Stanford now.
Well, this is what we saw the other day with Stanford against Fullerton. It just struggled with these wild pitches with runners on third, bringing home runs for the opposition. And it's a risk-reward thing. Your pitches are going to be nastier the deeper they get into the box. But, I mean, that's the result sometimes.
And you get to a certain point where you get enough of those wild pitches, and it starts to kind of affect the mentality of the catchers behind home plate. But a runner at second now with nobody out. Here's the pitch to Tadao. And there's a nice block from Stoll. So Stoll does a nice job there as he gets his body in front of the ball. Uses his chest protector as the glove, as they say. And it's 2-1.
Well, and here comes Charlie Bates again doing more laps. Again, he's just back and forth right now. He's got to get the cardio in, I guess.
Yeah,
Is he bringing something to the bullpen?
Yeah, maybe he's just the transporter of goods. 2-1 pitch to Tadao. And that's off the outside. 3-1. So Steve's in danger here of walking Tadao and setting up runners at first and second with nobody out for Takamaru. Now, that would set up the force, but I doubt Steves wants to walk Tadao either way, as Tadao will take the walk as he takes this one high and inside. And that ball 4 will put runners at first and second here with nobody out. Already 1 run in the inning for Waseda.
Yeah, not the start that Steves wanted. Single that could have been an out from Yuasa on a ball to third that took a wicked hop off the grass, then a little flare single into center, and then the walk of Tadao. And just like that, Tokumaru, who we saw make a couple nice plays in the bottom of the second inning, has a chance to even this game up, take the lead.
Yeah, and he's a dangerous hitter, left-handed hitter. You can tell he looks hitterish in the left side, and anyone who bats in the middle of the order for Waseda is going to be a really good hitter. Again, this is the top collegiate baseball team in Japan. So, Tokumaru shows bunt here. Here's the pitch, and he pulls it back. It's 1-0. And we talk about the differences in styles between Japanese and American baseball. I cannot imagine many circumstances in American baseball your fifth-place hitter is showing bunt, even in this runners at first and second situation.
Fullerton would have. Fullerton is a small ball team.
And here is the bunt. It's a beautiful bunt. Sasaki picks it up, throws to first in time for the out. Nice cover there from David, the second baseman. But Tokumaru gets the job done as he advances Okanishi to third and Tadao to second. And now with 1 out, Hiroto Takahashi comes up with a chance where a single could tie the game.
Yeah, so I was talking about being in Japan and watching baseball. In the first inning, there was the first inning went like walk, bunt, strikeout, walk, or something like that.
First pitch is high as that breaking ball didn't bite.
And my dad and I, who have started to see differently on baseball, he grew up in the 60s and 70s when baseball was played a little differently, and I'm much more like analytics minded, and I was just like, this is unethical baseball.
And Takahashi takes a strike on the inside, 1-1. Are you anti-bunt, Austin?
I am anti-bunt.
Just to waste it out in your mind?
I think there are times when it works, like if you bottom of the 10th inning in MLB when you get the free runner on second. If the game's tied and you have a chance to move that runner over, absolutely. But I think if you need more than 1 run, it is generally a wasted out. I like it there actually, because I do have faith in the guys here are going to put the ball in play, and you're looking to make this a 1-run game right now.
Well, I'm looking forward to you getting big and getting the chance to meet Brian Kenny, because the two of you will have all kinds of stuff to agree on.
I'm just not a bunt guy.
Takahashi grounds this over to the third baseman Gion. Gion comes home, and now we have a rundown as the catcher Stoll throws it back to Gion, and they'll tag out Okanishi here. On the play, Tadao goes to third, and then Takahashi goes to second, so heads up base running from those two. But Stanford gets the out on the lead runner, and there's 2 down now in the inning, and score that fielder's choice 5-5.
What I love there, and we talked about fundamentals, Tadao, as soon as he realized he was dead to rights at third, no, the runner on third was pointing back to second base saying, go, 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 go.
And Ogata takes one off the shoulder there. So Steves will load the bases with 2 outs just to make it a bit more interesting. And Yuta Shimo will come up to the plate as Ogata gets his second free pass here of the day after walking in the second.
My scorebook is a mess. I just didn't do anything right there. I had Takahashi as Ogata. I had Shimo already being hit by a pitch, but none of those were true. But again, to the point earlier, that's why I don't like the bunt, is because now you're kind of reliant on someone getting a ball in the air, and then something like that happens, but still a chance to get out of it.
First pitch here to Shimo, and Shimo fouls it away. It's 0-1. Well, right here, this is the kind of situation that decides who wins and loses baseball games, right? Who can get the big hit with 2 outs and runners on base? And Waseda has a big opportunity here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that misses high, 1-1 here to Shimo.
Well, a lot of the guys on this Waseda roster, they'll have the prefecture that they come from in Japan. Yuta Shimo from Virginia.
Oh. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled back, 1-2. I guess there would be nothing that would stop an American high school player from going and playing for Waseda. I don't know the exact international recruiting rules. That would be very interesting to look into. But Shimo coming back to the U.S. here to play Stanford, and he's in a 1-2 count with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Steve sets. Here's the pitch. And Shimo takes outside. It's 2-2. So a 2-2 count here. 4-2 the score. Stanford scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Waseda scored a run in the top of the second and 1 run here in the top of the third. Trying to score more. Here's the pitch from Steves. And this is lined up the middle and picked by the second baseman, David. He throws to first in time for the out. A beautiful play out there at second base by Sebastian David as he nabs the short hop and gets the runner at first to save any more runs from crossing here for Waseda. They do score 1 here in the top of the third. It's 4-2 Stanford as we go to the bottom of the third inning. We'll be back after this break. Well, Stanford's already 3 pitchers deep, but for Waseda, Kentaro Yasuda is out for his 3rd inning of work. And he'll take on the 2-3-4 hitters here for Stanford, Philip Chong, Court McDonald, and Rintaro Sasaki.
Well, yesterday, Waseda started Kazuki Kozai for 5 innings. He's a national team level guy, and he started 5 innings, 5 shutout innings yesterday. This Waseda team, these are huge games for them. And I don't blame them. You want to throw your best as long as possible. It also just, from the eye test, looks like a much smaller roster than what Stanford has at its disposal right now.
Yeah, I would assume that the logistics of getting the team all the way from Japan over here, you want to make sure that you get your players playing time that pays off the costs of having to take however many players Waseda has here, as Chong takes one low. That was the changeup. It's 1-0. Chong walked in the first and came around to score.
You been to Japan?
I haven't, but it's number 1 on my list.
Yeah, that's where I was going into this last summer.
Strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1. Yeah, I would love to go to a Japanese baseball game.
It's pretty incredible. It's totally different. I was just talking to someone about this.
And Chong looked like a curveball there on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2.
It's a complete cultural experience. Everyone gets into it. Everyone knows all the chants and all the players. It's unbelievable.
1-2 pitch here to Chong. And this is hit out to left field. Coming in is Shume, and Shume will watch it fall in fair territory there as it falls just a few feet to the right side of the foul line. And so Shume, who we've seen have a hard time with a couple of those high pop-ups out and left, he lets that one drop for a single. And so Chong at first base, and that'll bring up Court McDonald.
But I think back to the point, sometimes, not to sound too snobby, but sometimes here, you go to a Giants game and half the fans are on their phone the whole time. And I get it, it's a public thing. But in Japan, everyone is on every pitch, and it's so incredible.
Here's the pitch to McDonald, and there's a strike, 0-1. I just don't get being on your phone at a baseball game for the safety issue. I don't want a ball to hit me in the face. Now, when I was researching Waseda, one thing I thought was interesting is that they have cheerleaders at their games, which I think is cool. 0-1 pitch, and that's off the outside, 1-1. And apparently, and this makes sense, I guess, for a collegiate baseball team, the crowds are known to be very rowdy at Waseda baseball games.
Which is awesome. I love rowdy crowds. It's the fun part of college baseball.
McDonald grounds this over to the left side, and it's picked up by the shortstop there, Ohuchi. And he'll throw to second for the out as he gets Chong. So a nice play there at short from Ohuchi as he fields it in the hole and gets the lead runner. And now there's one down, and here he comes again, folks. Rintaro Sasaki. He struck out in the first inning. Let's see what he's got for us here in the third.
Well, that was an incredible play by Ohuchi just to get to the ball. McDonald had a little slap and dash, a little Ichiro there from him as he just kind of hit that one to the ground and started running. And Ohuchi knew he didn't have a play at first. I don't think Chong read it very well off first, and Ohuchi gunned him down.
So Rintaro Sasaki, one of the top collegiate baseball prospects in the world at the plate right now, and he takes a slow changeup for a strike. It's 0-1.
Do not throw him that pitch again. That is not a good idea.
So Yasuda, steal strike one there with the off speed. McDonald the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Sasaki swing and misses, and that was the changeup that bit straight to the ground. So he kind of threw the floating changeup on the first pitch, and then he throws the really sharp changeup on the second pitch. Great pitching from Yasuda. It's 0-2 here to Sasaki. Yasuda checks the runner at first. He sets the 0-2 pitch. Sasaki just gets a piece there on another changeup. Nice emergency swing there from Sasaki, and it remains 0-2.
You just kind of feel like he's going to hit one today.
Well, I mean, that's definitely, I think, what everyone here wants to see.
Right.
The crowd, for sure. Sasaki, one of the top prospects in Japan, decided to come to play baseball at Stanford, which was kind of a surprise. And he swings and misses at the changeup. Going to second base is McDonald, so he'll steal second. But Sasaki now 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts swinging, and that'll bring up Teddy Tokheim.
The only 2 strikeouts today from Yasuda are against Rentaro Sasaki. You're saving your best stuff for the best. And again, that was another nasty changeup. They're not throwing him anything hard.
Tokheim with the biggest hit of the day so far. It was a 2 RBI triple in the first inning. That at the time made it 3-0 Stanford. He's got a runner at second here. Let's see if he can knock another run in. Yasuda gets the pitch he wants. And here's the delivery. And there's a curveball for a strike in the outside corner. 0-1. Pitch. And that's another curveball. That one misses. It's 1-1.
Haven't seen it a ton, and definitely haven't seen 2 in a row from Yasuda, but after Tokheim took him out to center field in the first inning, he's trying to slow the speeds down a little bit, just change the pace.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Tokheim. And Tokheim swings and misses. He was late on the fastball, and that's called pitching backwards there.
It's all set up by the curveball.
So Tokheim, who got his first collegiate hit in his career just a few days ago on February 22nd against Cal State Fullerton. Getting a triple here today. He's having a good week. Trying to make it even better here in a 1-2 count. Yasuda. It's the pitch he wants. Here comes his delivery. And this is hit out to center field. Going back to Tadao. And Tadao squares up underneath it and makes the play. So Tokheim gave it a ride, but just could not get it past the center fielder Tadao. And so Stanford comes up empty here in the bottom of the third. So they're still up 4-2 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Big guy, 6'3", 207 pounds. Good frame for a pitcher. Pitch to Shumei. And he bounces this one into the hole for a base hit on the right side as David could not get to that one. And, well, this infield grass here at the Sunken Diamond moving very fast here today. And Shumei will go to first. He's 1 for 3.
I think back to the point about just how cool it is to see, like, kids from San Jose make it to play at Stanford. How cool do you think it is for these to see a kid from Japan, you know, right across the diamond, first base dugout, playing for Stanford and living out his dreams here in collegiate league in the world?
Well, I think it's like one of those things that, as someone who States, I would never be able to understand.
Right.
As here is Yuasa hitting the first pitch to him. Taking off for second base is Shumei. The throw down is not in time, so Shumei steals second. Second stolen base of the day for Waseda, and they put another runner in scoring position here in the fourth. And the reason I say that I would never be able to understand it is, I mean, I just look at the fanfare, and not just the fanfare, but what some of these Japanese baseball players mean to Japan. I mean, you had Ichiro, you had Shohei Ohtani, and then you have so many others that mean so much to their communities. It really is just a different kind of passion for some of these guys who are able to make it to the highest level. As here's the 0-1 pitch to Yuasa, and there's a strike at the top of the zone on an off-speed, and it's 0-2. And, what, for the World Baseball Classic that's coming up, they say that, something like, and this is not an exact figure, but something like 90% of all TVs in Japan will be watching Japan. That's just insane. 0-2 to Uwasa, and that misses low and outside. Looks like a slider again there, and it's 1-2. I mean, we think about a big sporting event in the United States as the Super Bowl, and we don't get anywhere close to 90% of the people in the United States watching the Super Bowl.
No, they're idolized, and it's incredible.
1-2 here to Yuasa, and that misses high. 2-2. Yuasa 1 for 2. He singled in the third and came around to score. Shumei, the runner at second. With Waseda, they went down 4-0 after the first, but they've just been scratching and clawing. One run in the second, one run in the third, trying to score again here in the fourth. And this one is low and outside. 3-2. Looked like a curveball there.
It's just a fantastic at-bat by Yuasa. Fell behind 0-2 on a couple of pitches that could have been called either way, and he's just battled since then, taking close pitches, taking big breakers.
Full count delivery. And this one almost hits Yuasa, as that curveball never really broke. And that honestly could have even been a slider that never broke. It was just one of those floating breaking balls. And Yuasa got out of the way, and he'll go down to first base, so a walk. And that'll bring up Okanishi.
Table set again. Here come the Bears once again. They're doing it by a little bit of small balls. Shune fought off a 3-2 pitch into right. Yuasa fell behind 0-2 and took a walk. Now the heart of the order up. Okanishi 0 for 2 today, or 2 for 2 today.
And like you just said there, Austin, Okanishi has maybe had the best at bats of anyone in this Waseda lineup here today, and the table's set for him. First pitch to Okanishi. And he lines this one into right field for a base hit. Chong will field it, being waved around third here is Shumei, and Shumei will make it on a slide. Shumei, who kind of hesitated coming around third at first, but then his third base coach kept on waving him along. And so an RBI single there for Okanishi. He's 3 for 3, and just like that, it's a one-run game, 4-3, Stanford.
Yeah, Okanishi's just a really good player. That is a good swing. There's a little bit out in front, but he kept the hands back long enough to be able to get good barrel on it. Finally, you can say good wood on it, because at the college level, you're usually not saying good wood, but that was a wood bad swing, and he corked it out to right.
So Kensei Tedao will come up to the plate now. He's walked twice, and now Waseda with a fly ball can tie the game, and of course they got aims at doing more than that. Here's the first pitch to Tedao, and he fouls this one down the right field side, and that ball goes deep into the Stanford bullpen. A long strike, and it's 0-1. Yuasa, the runner at third. Okanishi, the runner at first. One out here in the top of the fourth inning. Weiser sets. He comes home. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch there, and it's 0-2.
Waseda came to play. And in every inning, they've had base traffic. They pushed runs across in the last 3. Got a chance.
Tadao chokes up on the bat. 0-2. And that misses in the dirt. Change up. It's 1-2.
He's a lefty getting loose in Stanford's bullpen. This was the time in yesterday's game Waseda started picking up its scoring against Santa Clara as well.
So 1-2 the count here. Weiser ready. Here's the pitch. And that misses in the dirt. 2-2. So 2 very good takes there from Tadao. And Weiser trying to get Tadao to fish on the last 2 pitches, but no avail. Here comes the 2-2. And this is a soft line drive right into the glove of Hayes, the shortstop. And so, Weiser gets a big out there, 2 down now. And that'll bring up Tokumaru.
Feels like the balls that Waseda hits as a team almost act like a changeup, where it looks a little bit firmer off the bat, and then it kind of dies the deeper it gets out onto the field. We saw that single from Okanishi that had that kind of same trajectory. That ball to Hayes looked like it was hit a little bit harder originally, and Hayes ended up having to slow down for it.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like these are like dead birds coming off the bat. Here comes the pitch to Tokumaru, and he takes low and inside, 1-0. So Weiser not out of the woods yet, but a big out when he got Tadao to line out. Yuasa still at third, Okanishi still at first. Waseda down by 1. 1-0 pitch. And that just misses off the outside. Close pitch there. It's 2-0. Takamaru lined out in the first, and then he bunted a sacrifice in the third. And Austin was very upset when he saw him bunt. 2-0 pitch. And this is grounded fouled on the first base side. 2-1.
Putting words into my mouth. They might be true, but you're putting words into my mouth.
So 2-1 count now to Takamaru. Waseda, again, they started off down 4-0, but they have just kept on scratching and clawing their way back into this game. 2-1 pitch off the outside, 3-1.
On deck is Takahashi, and he hit that big double to start the scoring for Waseda back in the second. That was really the first time where it was like, all right, like they got something, because it was a lot of slap base hits early in the game, and then boom, Takahashi off the wall in center.
Takamaru should get something to hit here. He does, and he hits it out to center field. Kettleson going back, and he makes the play! Over his head at the last moment. Kettleson reaches up, makes the catch, and Waseda will have to settle for the one. They're only down by one, though, 4-3. Stanford needs to start adding on as we head to the bottom of the fourth. You are watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra. So Stanford finds themselves only up by one now. They were up as much as 4 early on, and they need to add on. And the men who are going to try to help them do that are the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Kettleson, Gian, and Hayes. And out there still for Waseda is Mr. Yasuda, who has been very good ever since giving up 4 runs in the first inning.
Even in that first inning, he got a couple of big outs. Get Sasaki with the bases loaded, get a sac fly from Kettleson. There's that big triple by Tokheim. And even then, McDonald's single in the first was a little bloop. Tokheim's triple was misplayed. So I think Yasuda's been better than the numbers might show.
First pitch from Yasuda, and that misses off the outside. 1-0 to Kettleson, who at the end of the top of the fourth made a very nice play out in center as he reached over his head and saved a couple of runs for Waseda, as this is hit foul down the left field side, and it's 1-1.
A lot of times you hear guys with buzz as two-way talents. Brock Kettleson does not just have buzz. He's already started a game on the bump. He's pitched twice this season for the Cardinal, and he's hit as the DH in a bunch of games. And now he's playing center field.
And a high drive to right field, and you can kiss this one goodbye. Brock Kettleson with a solo home run. And he is indeed a dual threat with a lot of pop in the bat. It's 5-3 Stanford. A no-doubter off the bat from Kettleson. Anyone on that walkway out behind right field better duck, because that ball is still probably up in the air. And so Stanford gets an insurance run. They're now up by 2.
That ball was clobbered. Are you joking? So it's not gonna count on the stat sheet as his first collegiate home run, but he knows that he's not gonna forget that moment. That ball was cranked.
And Kettleson, I'm very, very thankful, because he gave me the chance to really pull out the home run call there, because I knew right off the bat
right.
I was gonna be a home run. Gian up to the plate, and he takes an off-speed pitch there, a curveball for a strike in the outside corner. It's 0-1.
My goodness. I need to see how hard that ball was hit, because not only was it hit far, I mean, that looked like it was at least 100 plus off the bat.
Exit velocity. Where's the exit velocity?
Right.
0-1. And there's a curveball that misses low. 1-1. You know, it's interesting with Yasuda. He throws that curveball and that changeup so much, and they look very similar. That's probably why they're so hard to hit. They're both so hard to hit, I should say. 1-1 pitch here to Gian. And this is hit high and deep, out to left, but this one's going to stay in the park, as the left fielder Shumei will make the catch right in front of the left field wall. So Gian puts a ride into that ball, but is unable to get it over the fence, and that's the first out of the inning here for Stanford.
Well, the craziest part of that is it looks like he was almost off the end of the bat from Gian, and he just had, I mean, that's big guy strength, out to left field to still hit that ball 330 feet or whatever it is, out towards the wall in left field.
Rashad Hayes comes up to the plate now. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to right in the second inning, and he takes low, 1-0.
I can't get over that ball by Kettleson, man.
Yeah, that was beautiful, too. I mean,
It just had that look.
And it's nothing better, nothing more beautiful than a left-handed hitter really getting into one. As there's a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. Not to sound like, I favor left-handers over right-handers, but when it comes to
it's better.
Home runs,
Yeah.
it is a little prettier. 1-1 pitch, and this is bounced foul, 1-2. I am also left-handed.
You are?
Yes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm one of the weirdos.
Well, I mean, you said it.
1-2 the count here.
We were all thinking it.
We got a guy from San Jose on the left-hander. Who are they letting in this booth? 1-2 pitch, and this misses high, 2-2.
I mean, we're two guys that went to the Pacific Northwest schools for undergrad. It gets even weirder.
Okay, but you might have gone to the University of Oregon, but I don't know if that necessarily matches the prestige of the Seattle Pacific University. 2-2 pitch here to Hayes, and this is popped up around home plate. Got to the catcher. We'll take a couple of steps over to the left side of the home plate circle, and he makes the catch. So 2 down here in the inning, and Sebastian David will come up to the plate.
So I'm going to start taking a poll of this, because we're doing the kid announcer right now between innings for the Cardinal, the kid PA. And I was talking to Scott Reese about this, who I was on the call with the other day. How many kids do you think have gone from there to now broadcasting games in the same press box?
Oh, wow.
Because I'm one.
I'm also one.
Really?
Yeah.
So we are... Look at us, dude.
First pitch here to David, and he takes a strike in the outside corner, 0-1.
I mean, which basically means that we're two of the best to ever do it.
The kid PA to Stanford broadcasting pipeline is extremely strong. And the 0-1, and there's a swing and a miss from David.
We'll have to go recruit these kids after the game.
Yeah, someone keep an eye on the kid who's PAing right now. 0-2, the count here to David. The 1 run in this inning, a huge home run from Brock Kettleson. Here's the pitch, and that misses outside, 1-2.
How old were you when you did it? I think I was a little too old to still be geeked out by doing it. But
How old was I? I think I was 12.
Okay.
1-2 pitch. And this is a high bouncing ball that's going to get through into center field for a base hit for Sebastian David. And Sebastian David's 2 for 2. He's having a nice day. He'll go over to first, take a big turn, and that'll bring up Nolan Stoll. Yeah, I came here, I think it was with my majors Little League baseball team. We came to watch a game. I just remember my head coach was a man by the name of Chuck Acquisto, who was a great coach, and he took all of us here, and his assistant was a guy by the name of Reed his last name was Stedman. His son was named Reed. I don't remember his first name. Coach Stedman. And they asked if anyone wanted to go up and PA, as there's a strike to Stoll. And, of course, I said yes, which was a bit of a foreshadow.
Right.
And I got to do it. It was awesome.
I don't remember. I think it was my birthday when I did it. But I did also do the, come here with my Little League team.
Popped up, foul territory, third base side. Okanishi is going to make the play right in front of the Waseda dugout, and that will end the inning. But a huge, booming home run that I think is still in the air right now off the bat of Brock Kettleson to make it 5-3 Stanford. We're going to the top of the 5th, and my man Austin Oda will take you through the next 2 innings. You are watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra. Back here at the Sunken Diamond, and Waseda down 5-3 to Stanford, and to take you through these next 2 innings, I hand it over to the Austin Oda.
I've already gotten the second, at least, the designation today, because you hit the Seattle Pacific University. I'm the Austin Oda. It's the Hiroto Takahashi leading off the top of the 5th inning against the new pitcher, Andrew Shaw. The lefty fires the first pitch, and it's a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Shaw's got a big herky-jerky motion. It's uncomfortable to face. A lot of movement from the left side. Big 6'3" lefty. And a changeup. Misses a little low, 1-1. Takahashi had a booming double back in the start of the 2nd inning. And he is 1 for 2. First lefty that's thrown today for the Cardinal is Takahashi to third on a backhand. Gion fires cross diamond, 1 out. Eric Gion's good, man.
Yeah, he's very sure-handed there over on the left side of the infield. Honestly, I've been very impressed with all of the infield defense here from Stanford. Yeah. And you can definitely tell Stanford's used to playing here in the outfield as well, because they've looked much more comfortable on a lot of these pop flies than Waseda has, which is not to say that Waseda doesn't have good outfield defense. It's just like we talked about earlier, this is a place where you have to kind of adjust to playing the outfield. And Stanford looks very much at home here in both the infield and the outfield here today.
Mikito Ogata looking for his first official at-bat of the day. A walk and a hit by pitch. Behind in the count 1-0. And he takes a fastball tight for ball 2. Shaw, like cocks his head back at one point in his motion.
He's funky.
Yeah.
And it's good to be funky when you're a pitcher. Anything you can do to just mess with the timing of the hitter.
Especially as a lefty. You have a cheat code being a left-handed pitcher, and you're adding on an extra layer of funk into that. 5-3, Stanford leads. Brock Kettleson's home run is the insurance that Stanford needed as Ogata swings and misses on a pitch off the outside. 2-2. 1 outing this season for Shaw. That came against Michigan when 2 innings of 2-run ball struck out 4. 2-2 pitch. Down and away, ball 3.
Well, this is a big at-bat. There's 1 out here in the inning, but Waseda's been able to get runners on in the last, well, in every frame so far. And if Ogata can get on here, it just kind of gives them that momentum back after losing a run in the bottom of the 4th.
Not yet. Ogata taps it foul, and we'll do it again. So 4 in the bottom of the 1st for the Cardinal. Single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the Bears, and then 1 in the bottom of the 4th on the Kettleson home run for Stanford. That's where we sit. Still a lot of time in this game. 3-ball, 2-strike pitch to Ogata, and he takes called strike 3 on the outside corner. Shaw paints it on the outside, and that's the 4th strikeout today for Cardinal pitching.
That's about as good of a pitch as you could possibly throw. Right there on the outside corner. And there's not much Ogata was going to be able to do with that one. Even if he does make contact, he probably rolls it over to the right side of the infield. So, fantastic pitch there from Shaw.
That'll bring up Yuta Shimo, the DH. First pitch, Shimo takes a touch high with a fastball, ball 1. Shaw's already been a little more efficient this inning than any of his Stanford counterparts today. From the windup, the 1-0. Shimo takes a called strike at the knees, 1-1. Marsh for an inning, Pinello for an inning, Steves for an inning, Weiser for an inning. Marsh gave up a single and a walk, but got out of that jam in the 1st inning. 1-1 pitch. Shimo taps it foul, 1-2.
And Shaw's trying to do something here that no Stanford pitcher has done yet, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. There's been traffic all over the bases for Waseda throughout this game.
No pitcher on either side has done that today. Shaw has looked very composed. Ahead in the count 1-2, here's the pitch. Lofted foul off to the right. Shimo 0-for-2 with a strikeout today.
And that's one thing about this Waseda team, and part of the reason they've been able to scratch across a run in every inning in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They just do not go down easy. They give very hard, grinding at bats, and they foul off a lot of pitches.
1-2. Lunged at and grounded to the right side for Sasaki. He's got to hurry. His feed to first is dropped by Shaw, and I think Shimo would have beat it out anyway. They should give that a hit, and they will.
The classic swinging bunt there, and it's just so incredible to me how if you even just have a little bit of speed, like what kind of a weapon it is, because if you hit a slow ground ball like that, and the pitcher, Shaw, doesn't get off the mound immediately to go cover first, that's pretty much an automatic single every time. And to harken back to a Japanese baseball legend, I cannot tell you how many hits Ichiro Suzuki got doing just that. Just rolling it over and beating the throw to first.
Here's Aoma Ohuchi, the shortstop, 0-for-2 today, but he's played a good defensive shortstop as Shaw throws over to first. Shaw, in that game against Michigan, picked off 2 base runners. And you can see with that awkward head tilt why he would fake a lot of guys out over at first base.
You know who Shaw's motion reminds me of? Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, I see it. It's a good comp. First pitch. Corbin does not have that weird head fake.
Yeah, but just the way he kind of brings his arms together. and like it's as if the arms and the legs both come up at the same time.
Right.
And also Patrick Corbin had a great pickoff move over to first base. 2019 World Series legend for the Washington Nationals.
1-0 pitch. Little grounder right back to Shaw on a hop. His lollipop lob over to first is in time to end the inning. So a 0 for the first time since the first for Cardinal pitching. We go to the bottom of the fifth, halfway done in this one. 5-3, Stanford leads. Bottom of the fifth inning. And it's the top of the lineup. Roxell, Philip Chung, and Court McDonald to hit for the Cardinal. Leading 5-3, still against Kotaro Yasuda, who again I think has been pretty solid. A couple hard hit balls, but he's danced out of some damage as well. Roxell with a walk and a run scored today as he takes that lobbed changeup, Etha's pitch, whatever you want to call it, strike one. It's nasty. So he jumps ahead in the count, 0-1, and his pitch misses down low, a ball and a strike.
Yasuda at 84 pitches now, so he's gotten a lot of work in this game, and we were kind of half expecting a few guys to throw for Waseda, and they probably still have some relievers, but Yasuda, a true starter here today.
Sell in the air, medium deep to left. Shune, the left fielder, in front of the warning track for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Philip Shaw.
Shaw's had a nice day. Reached on a walk in the first and singled in the third.
Chong, another, say it with me, top prospect, top recruit for the Stanford team.
And he actually competed in the Dominican Summer League.
Very cool. Talk about international experience. From Canada originally, playing here in the U.S., played in the Dominican Summer League, playing against a team in Japan. Mr. Worldwide. 0-1 pitch to Chong. Big, over the top, 12-6 curveball, nothing in two.
Mr. Worldwide. You know, my sister's actually seen Pitbull in concert.
Really?
And he played at the Alameda County Fairgrounds during the Alameda County Fair.
Well, we're seeing Mr. Worldwide in concert right now. There's strike three called. Right on the outside corner, and that's the third strikeout for Kotaro Yasuda. That'll bring up Court McDonald. McDonald 1 for 2, a steal and a run scored. Was robbed of a base hit his last time up. On a ball high into the hole that Ohuchi made a nice play on to get a runner at second and force a fielder's choice. First pitch to him here, McDonald over the top of a changeup on the outside, nothing in one.
So it's hard to time Yasuda when he's got these off-speed pitches working, man. I mean, he can throw anything at any time.
Stanford is back in action this weekend against Fresno State as McDonald sawed off on that one, nothing in two.
I hear they got a real joker calling that game this weekend.
To you?
Yeah, it's me.
Which games?
It's Fresno State. It's the
All of
Saturday
them?
game. The Saturday game. Yeah,
I'm gonna say it, lucky you, dude. 0-2 pitch to McDonald. Yasuda trying to match that 1-2-3 inning from Shaw and set down the Cardinal 1-2-3 for the first time today. Who are you calling with?
I have to check. Honestly, I'm not sure. I should probably check that out.
It's me.
I kind of go one day at a time. You're calling it with me? I was going to say, I'm happy. That sounds fun.
1-2 pitch. McDonald lifts it. Looked like he took that one out of the catcher's mitt. And it's 1-2 again. Yeah, let me know. I want to know who. I had a blast calling the game with Scott Reese on Sunday. He was so much fun to work with. 1-2 pitch. Now to McDonald. This one saws him off again. A little pop-up off the fists. Over to make the catch is Ogata. And you know what? That is a 1-2-3 inning for Kotaro Yasuda. We go to the sixth. 5-3. Cardinal lead. New pitcher in for the Cardinals. Surprise, surprise. Top of the sixth inning. It's Liam Golden. Another Sacramento kid. The sophomore. Big righty. And my favorite walk-up song today. Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day.
You're a big fan of Green Day?
Big Green Day guy.
Big Boulevard of Broken Dreams guy, eh?
So, here's a little broadcast tidbit from you. Last year, at about this time, when I was calling Eric Gion's old team, Columbia, before the game, myself and my color commentator, Harry Satrakian, shout out Harry, up at Oregon, we decided we were going to try to find a way to drop as many Green Day references in a game. And I think I told you this story recently, right? Did I tell you this last weekend? But we decided we were going to try to drop as many Green Day references in a broadcast as we could at one time. And we dropped, I don't know how many it was, but it was a good amount in that one game. It was also 35-1 Oregon in game one of a doubleheader.
I'm surprised. Game one, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that all those Green Day references were safe for the workplace.
Right. Some of them were forced. This is Nakamura Shune, who takes a 1-0 fastball on the outside. Yeah, some of them were a little forced. Some of them were really good. You know, I'll give myself credit. I think when Oregon scored its 21st run, I said runs. 21 runs, as in 21 guns by Green Day. And that one was stupid. Shune 1 for 3 today as he waits and takes a changeup a little bit outside, 2-2. 20+ references in that game, and there's a list of them somewhere. It was pretty good. It was pretty impressive. I got to give myself credit. 2-2 to Shune. Hit well the other way down the left field line. McDonald gives it a look. It might have had home run distance, but it was foul. You a big Green Day guy?
They're all right. I mean, I'm not going to be a Green Day hater. They're not the first thing I put on in the car.
Yeah. For a while they were, but not anymore. 2-2. Popped up again.
Right now, my dad is listening to my Uncle John's old collection of albums.
Okay.
And there's some truly terrible music
that
he is listening to.
2-2 pitch to Shune. Fouled off again. The thing about Green Day is, I know they're horrible.
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. Is he's not even listening to Green Day. And I think my dad's, for the most part, got a great sense of music, music taste. But, he plays some of these albums, and it's just, and his rule is he has to listen to the whole thing.
Oh, God.
And some of it is just, how are you listening to this?
2 balls, 2 strikes to Shune, who singled and scored a run in the 4th. Here in the 6th, it's 5-3 Stanford as Shune stays alive again. Yeah, so when you were at Seattle Pacific, were you part of a student radio station?
I was.
Okay. So you're aware, I would assume then, of the taste sometimes of student radio, college student radio music. It's eclectic, to say the least. Oregon, as the 2-2 is down and away. Some of the things that were... I remember very vividly sitting in my car my sophomore year, and it was 10 minutes of animal noise that came on a radio station. I was like, this is unbelievable. 3-2 to Shune. Grounder to the right side. Off the glove of the new first baseman. That's not Sasaki over there anymore. That's Teddy Tokheim over at first base. And we'll see if that gets marked a hit or an error. And that's an error.
So Tokheim going from DH to first.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Sasaki still hits.
No, I think that, in a game like this, why not? I think you're right. I think Sasaki probably still will hit in the next inning.
That'll bring up Osuke Uasa, second baseman who's already squaring to bunt. Runner on first, the leadoff runner on after the error as the runner goes. The pitch throw down to second is just a little bit late. Now on the stolen base from Shune, that his second of the day.
Shune, like you said, second stolen base of the day, and I just love how aggressive this Waseda team is. They love stealing bases, and I think it's great. That's something, if you're anti-steal, Austin, I don't know if I can even have that conversation.
Got a lot of thoughts. I'll leave it at that. The ball, no strikes to Uasa, and he takes up high 2-0. I think steals are good. I think generally a stolen base is good. I think you gotta pick and choose your spots, and that was a good spot. But
I was gonna say, I thought maybe you were one of the only guys who likes, the home run derby.
No, that's
three true outcome style of baseball.
Oh well, okay. I think I don't know if I like watching it, but I understand like the numbers behind it.
Future member of the Tampa Bay Rays front office
Right,
over here.
exactly.
Three true outcomes. If it's not a home run, a walk, or a strikeout, he does not care.
I will say that is how I judge pitchers is on FIP, which is home runs, walks, strikeouts. 3-0 pitch to Asa is a called strike, 3-1. I just think generally those are the things that a pitcher can control, right? For the most part, are home runs, walks, strikeouts. Everything else, to some extent, is out of their control. But I'll get off my soapbox. 3 balls and a strike to Uasa, who singled and walked his last 2 times up. And on 3-1, he takes ball 4. So the error and a walk. And again, it feels like this heart of the lineup is up every second for this Waseda team.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy has done a lot of damage today. Yuya Okanishi, 3 for 3, and he picked up an RBI in the 4th. So another big spot here for Waseda. And again, they just keep on coming at you, and that's kind of really their identity and the identity of a lot of Japanese baseball teams.
Okanishi already 3 hits today. First pitch to him, and he takes a perfectly placed fastball for strike 1. Yeah, I miss the days of like small ball baseball, and I think it was fun to watch. I'll leave it at that. 0-1. This one hit well in the air to right towards the line, but in the park for Chong, who makes the catch. Tagging from second is Shune as he bluffs and retreats back to the second base bag. That one just kind of lunged at by Okanishi.
Yeah, he definitely got underneath that one. He probably hit it off the barrel, but didn't really get his legs underneath him. And again, he got underneath it, had a bit of a loop to his swing. And so that's why the ball went high up in the air instead of going further out towards the wall.
That'll bring up Kensei Terao, who's 0 for 1 today, lined out to short his last time up. Just a soft liner up the middle. Still a chance in this inning for Waseda to poke at least a run across. Runners on first and second, 1 out. We'll see if Waseda has any ideas of a double steal here. First pitch to Terao, misses up high for ball 1. So Golden has struggled a little bit this inning. Just a lot of deep counts after Shaw put up the first 0 since the first inning. Flicked over to the right side. That goes foul, 1-1. I will try to find a way to tune into Waseda University baseball the rest of the year. It's a fun team. Changeup misses low, 2-1.
As a avid jersey collector,
Yeah, dude.
I want one of these jerseys. I'm not gonna lie.
What's your favorite jersey that you own?
My Kevin Durant Seattle Supersonics jersey.
Yeah, that's a good one. 2-1 pitch. A high chopper to the right side. Fielding it near the bag is Tokheim. Goes to second. Hayes has to apply the tag because the throw pulled him off the bag. But Tokheim tagged the first base bag, and that's a 3-6 double play. So I didn't see that tag of the bag over at first base at first. A nice play by Tokheim, and that kills the threat as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-3, Stanford leads, and Rintaro Sasaki will lead off the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher for Waseda here in the bottom of the 6th inning, replacing Kotaro Yasuda. It's Ryuichi Komatsu who comes in, and the righty will face 4, 5, 6 Sasaki, Tokheim, and Kettleson for Stanford.
So Sasaki, he is no longer playing first base, but still going to get a chance to hit, which not only makes all of us happy up here in the booth, but I'm sure makes all the fans happy. And he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and I think everyone here is hoping that he'll do some damage here in the sit-back.
I think we might at some point. I mean, we're still relatively early in this game, right? Bottom 6, there's still a third of the game left. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more fans start to file in just to try to catch a glimpse of this team, both these teams. And there is a pretty big Japanese contingent here, just kind of standing before the game, and there's a buzz, and you can see people, put up their phones right before Sasaki comes up to hit every time, and they want to see something special from this guy. So Sasaki, Tokheim, and Kettleson against Ryuichi Komatsu. Yasuda lasted 5 innings of 5-run ball. First pitch from Komatsu to Sasaki, and he takes a fastball outside for ball 1. They've been attacking Sasaki out there a lot. Going out into the right-handed batter's box. 1-0. Hits him in the back.
And that was definitely not intentional there, but not at all what Sasaki was looking for. And he goes down to first.
I think there was a little cap tip from Komatsu after that one. Here's Teddy Tokheim.
Classy move.
Yeah. I mean, that was right on the number. You know, it was just an overthrow. Tokheim had a 2-run triple his first time up. Launches the first pitch high in the air. Very shallow left. A long run for Shune. He's had a little bit of an adventure out there today, but he makes the catch here for the first out.
Yeah, and that ball was popped up high enough. And this guy's not too difficult right now, that where he kind of had the opportunity to judge the depth and then come in and make the play. Where we've seen Shune have a hard time earlier in this game are on some of those kind of soft line drives that go into left field.
That'll bring up Brock Kettleson, who had... Where was that in your favorite home run calls ever? Because you knew it off the bat.
You know, it's definitely top 10, top
Okay.
5. I guess I have to put together all my favorite home run calls. I don't know if I've ever done the ranking, but it's definitely up there because I knew it was coming.
Yeah. A ball and no strikes. Kettleson has driven in a couple runs today. Here goes the other way, out to medium deep left for Shune again, who makes the catch for the second out.
And that time Kettleson goes the opposite way. Kettleson's had great at-bats today. I mean, even on that one, hit it pretty hard, just got underneath it just a bit. Kettleson looks really good right now.
That'll bring up Eric Jian, who's also had a good day, even though he's 0 for 2 at the plate. Hits with, it looks like maybe a pinch runner at first for the Cardinal.
Yeah, that pinch runner over there is Chong.
Philip Chong running at first, who is in the lineup. So here's Eric Jian, first pitch. Line drive right side, diving to snag it is Yuasa, and that will end the inning. So a terrific play by the Waseda second baseman, and Stanford puts up a second straight 0. We go to the 7th, 5-3 Cardinal. Top of the 7th inning, Austin Oda. Kyle Morrison will take you through the 8th.
Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. And we have a new pitcher on the mound here for Stanford, Sam Garwalt, the transfer from Northwestern, who transferred to Stanford before the 2024 season last year for the Cardinal. He made 16 appearances and had 8.2 ERA. Most recently, he gave up 1 earned run on February 21st to Cal State Fullerton. And the first man that he'll face here out of the bullpen is Kaisei Takamadu. Takamadu 0 for 2. He picked up a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. And now we're in the back 3rd of this baseball game here today. Stanford up 5-3 on Waseda in this very special exhibition here at the Sunken Diamond on the campus of Stanford University. First pitch is inside, and Takamadu has to get out of the way of that one. It's 1-0.
Garwal, easily the most proven pitcher that's come in today for Stanford. He was a starter at Northwestern a couple of years back. Threw a lot last year. He's got big strikeout stuff.
And there's a slow curveball for a strike. It's 1-1. Garwal, who has made 2 appearances this year, and his last appearance, we just talked about it, gave up an earned run to Cal State Fullerton. 2 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts in those 2 innings pitched. So a good start overall for him. Well, Waseda, they scored runs, 1 run to be exact, in each of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings, but since then they've been scoreless. 1-1 pitch here to Takamadu, and that one's inside, 2-1. Starting to get a bit cooler here in Palo Alto. 2-1 pitch to Takamadu, and that misses inside, 3-1. The clouds have kind of dispersed, but We are starting to get to the golden hour,
So beautiful out.
as they say. And Garwal's trying to keep Takamado from being a leadoff base runner here. 3-1 pitch. And this is fouled back. Takamado was on that one. It's 3-2.
I always forget coming here how hot it gets here specifically, even when it's relatively cool out. Like the other day it was like 65 degrees and it felt like it was 80 plus.
The sun shines right into this
Yep.
press box. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with the off-speed pitch, and Garwal. Takamado was way out in front of that pitch from him, and you could see him kind of signaling to Takahashi as he comes up to the plate, kind of the way that ball moves as it comes in, showing his teammates how that curveball kind of drops off the table when it comes to the plate. So 1 out here for Takahashi. First pitch to him is a fastball that's a bit high, 1-0.
A little bit less wonky than Shaw was a couple innings ago, but Garwal's got a kind of a similar motion from the left side. They hide the ball similarly. Garwal just has some big oomph on his fastball.
This one misses outside, 2-0. So Garwal has struggled here. These first 2 hitters of getting ahead. Fortunately for him, he was able to come back against Takamado and get him to strike out. 2-0 pitch up coming here to Takahashi. And a swing and a miss. Takahashi late.
And that might have been the least disciplined swing I've seen from Waseda today, and Takahashi knew it as soon as he swung through it.
2-1 pitch up coming here to the first baseman for Waseda. And a curveball that misses on the inside. It's 3-1. Takahashi 1 for 3 here today. He doubled in the second inning and came around to score. There's a 3-1. And there's a strike, 3-2. We just found out someone in the press box has a Doors ringtone.
What is that?
The Doors, classic band.
Oh, I'm not familiar. I think
You don't know-
I think I'm aware of that.
You don't know about the Doors?
Sorry, dude.
3-2 pitch here to Takahashi. And that's fouled away. I'm actually distantly related to the lead singer of the Doors.
Wow.
Yeah, Jim Morrison. I went and saw his grave in Paris.
Wow.
I know.
What's
Now
the
that is
relation?
one band that my dad got me into that actually is very good.
Okay.
3-2 pitch to Takahashi. And this is fouled away. I don't know what the relation is. It's like fifth cousin or something like that.
Okay. Good for you.
Thanks, man. Count is still full here to Takahashi. Here's the pitch from Garwal. And that's fouled away again. Nice at bat here. Good battle between these two guys. Garwal and
Takahashi's,
Takahashi.
yeah, he's really impressed me today. I feel like he's had good at bats all day long. It's been a lot of this, a lot of spoiling pitches with 2 strikes. He really shortens up when he's behind in the count, and it's paid dividends.
3-2 pitch. Once again, here it comes. And that misses inside. Ball 4. So Takahashi, he earned that walk. And he'll go down to first base. And Waseda with a base runner here as they try to scratch and claw a couple more runs across the board and tie this game up.
We've seen this offense can pluck together a run or 2 at a time today. You're running out of time, though. But, again, it still feels like this is a good time to do it after a long at-bat and some momentum goes your way with a walk.
So Makito Ogata will come up to the plate now. He's 0 for 1. He walked and got hit by a pitch in the second and third, respectively. Big lead for Takahashi at first. First pitch, and there's a strike right down the middle of the plate. It's 0-1.
My mom did just say that it's like admitting that I don't know the Beatles.
Really?
Yeah, with the Doors.
Good for you, Austin's mom. 0-1 pitch to Ogata. Instead, it's going to be a pickoff attempt over at first. Well, to be fair, I got 2 very different reactions from my mom and dad after saying that my dad's been listening to terrible music.
Right.
My mom just sent me a laugh because I think she agrees. And then my dad was like, you don't know if it's good unless you listen. Another pickoff attempt, and that was very close.
Shout out Takahashi over at first. He's right back up. There's no like he's not sitting waiting for that to make sure. No, he's get it and go.
Another 0-1 coming here to Ogata And that's a strike going too. So a couple of good pitches here from Garwell that have been sandwiched with pickoff attempts in between.
Maybe I know the doors. Maybe I just don't. I don't know. I'm not great at band recognition sometimes.
Here comes the 0-2. And another pickoff attempt.
Little cat and mouse game going on. These two waiting to see who's going to win it.
Have you ever heard Light My Fire?
Yeah, that's the one my mom just texted me. Know that one.
0-2 pitch here to Ogata. Swing and a miss. He went after the high fastball there. And Ogata all tangled up there on that swing. So 2 outs and 2 strikeouts here for Galwell in the 7th.
With all this strikeout stuff today, that just the first pitcher for Stanford to strike out multiple batters in their 1 inning of work. And that was a nasty one. Went up, climbed the ladder with the fastball up high that just continued to rise from the left side. Nothing you could do with that one.
Utashima will come up to the plate. He's 1 for 3. And another pickoff attempt. And I don't blame Garwell because Takahashi is getting some huge leads over at first. And he immediately, as soon as the first baseman throws the ball back, gets out to a big lead. I love it. Another pickoff attempt, and that one was close. As Tokheim almost tagged out Takahashi. He's playing a dangerous game over there. Garwell sets. Here's the pitch, and Shimo takes high and outside. 1-0.
So looking at Shimo earlier, we were talking about how he's from Virginia. He's actually he was given a perfect game grade of 9 back in class of 2024. That's really good. But he rehabbed last year and took his talents to Waseda, and that's awesome. Like, that's so cool. Had an injury and had to rehab from surgery.
And there's a strike at the base of the zone. 1-1. So Shimo with both American and Japanese ties. One of the great things about a sport like baseball is that you can get guys with multiple ties like that. 1-1 to Shimo. And this is a high pop-up out to center. Kettleson underneath it. His hat flies off, but the ball lands in his glove. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch. Make sure you get a nice stretch for us out there at home, folks. 5-3, Stanford out in front. And you're watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra. Third pitcher of the day out on the mound here for Waseda, as Tsubasa Sasso, the left-handed pitcher, will go out there for the top collegiate baseball team in Japan, and he'll take on Rashad Hayes, Sebastian David, and Nolan Stoll. At least those are the 3 men due up here for Stanford in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Sasso takes over after a nice outing from Yasuda, and then after that, a good inning of relief for Komatsu. Hayes 0 for 2 up to the plate. First pitch is high and outside. 1-0. Sasso, left-handed pitcher, 5'10", 176 pounds. He's a sophomore at Waseda. Hayes, the shortstop today for Stanford. 1-0 pitch. And Hayes lines this one out to right field, and that'll get down for a base hit as it bounces off the right fielder, Takamadu. And going into second base is Hayes, as Takamadu had a hard time finding that ball after he knocked it down. So it looks like it's going to be a single in E9. We'll await the official score from our official scorekeepers.
Ball was blistered, and Hayes can fly.
Sebastian David will come up to the plate.
Good opportunity now for Stanford to add on.
And they're calling that a double. So David, 2 for 2. First pitch to him, and he lines this out to right field, and that'll get in front of Takamadu. And so Stanford with a couple of hard hit balls to right, and they have runners at first and third here with nobody out.
What a day for Sebastian David. It looks like Stanford's going to send up a pinch hitter as Henry McDonald will hit. But, yeah, a really good day for Sebastian David, looking to get some more playing time.
So that pinch hitter, Henry McDonald, will come up here as he pinch hits for Nolan Stoll. So McDonald will get his first at-bat of the day here as he comes in for the Stanford catcher. Runners at first and third, Hayes at third, David at first. First pitch to McDonald, and he takes a slow changeup for a strike, 0-1.
Looks like there's another pinch hitter on deck for the Cardinal as well. Quinton Marsh, who pitched today.
Ooh, little double threat action. McDonald, a transfer from Cal Poly. He lines this one out to right. Takamadu giving chase, and he's not going to be able to get it. It gets down, it bounces against the wall. Hayes in to score. Going to third here is David. He'll stay there. And so an RBI double from Henry McDonald makes it 6-3, Stanford.
Big time insurance there for the Cardinal. They benefit from that one a lot.
And a beautiful opposite field approach there from McDonald. We've seen some very good opposite approaches here in this inning. And here comes the aforementioned Quinton Marsh.
Yeah, I love that this inning, all three righties that have come up have gone the other way, waiting a little bit, letting the ball travel deep, and it's paid dividends. Couple doubles and a single.
So Marsh, who was the pitcher, now pinch hits as there's a strike going on. Again, this is an exhibition, so we're getting a lot of cool things you might not necessarily see in a normal baseball game, as this one misses outside, 1-1, including pitchers coming out of the game and then coming back in as pinch hitters.
And this isn't, by the way, this isn't just pitcher hitting just for fun. Marsh is a guy that they expect to be a two-way talent for years to come.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. That was a slider. 1-2 and a nasty one as well.
We already saw Kettleson today have a home run. He's another two-way guy. We'll see if he pitches in this game. That would really be full circle.
David, the runner at third. McDonald, the runner at second. Stanford up 6-3, trying to add on. 1-2 pitch, and Marsh takes low and outside. It's 2-2.
I really just want to see Rentaro Sasaki in again.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Especially if he could come up with runners on base. He's due up fourth right now. 2-2 pitch to Marsh. And a swing and a miss. So Marsh goes down on strikes there. And that'll bring up Philip Chong. So Chong, who's 1 for 2, he struck out looking in his last at-bat in the fifth. Waseda brought the infield in on the last at-bat. We'll see if they do it here. And it looks like they are still keeping that infield in to try to nab the runner at home on any sort of a ground ball.
And I respect this a lot. Even though it is an exhibition, they're playing to win it. And you don't travel across the world to play half speed.
First pitch to Chong, and this is fouled away. It's 0-1. Chong, we saw actually pinch run for Rentaro Sasaki earlier in the game.
Yeah. He's had a good day. He's looked good and right. He made a couple nice throws back in, and he's had some good at-bats today. I think this is a player that Stanford can expect to have some big at-bats this season. Even as a freshman, already has come in a couple times. So, yeah, this is a guy that could be very big for the Cardinal.
1-1 pitch here to Chong. And a half swing, but no swing, and it's 2-1. Sasso has already given up 1 run, trying to stop the bleeding. 2-1 pitch, and that just misses on the inside. It's 3-1. Court McDonald on deck. You can never be sure, especially when the pitch hitters start coming, but indeed McDonald is standing on deck for Stanford. 3-1, and Sasso does have an open base if he wants to use it.
Wouldn't be the worst decision in the world, especially with a couple lefties on deck.
Here's the pitch, and this is popped foul behind the press box here at the Sunken Diamond. It's 3-2.
Yeah, I think with McDonald on deck, who struggled a little bit today, hitless in his last 2 at-bats after a bloop single in the first, that's a chance to get a double play ball and get out of the inning. But Chong does not want to take a walk. He's up there to hack.
Point being, Sasso does not need to throw a cookie here.
No.
For Chong.
He can nibble, and that's fun.
3-2 pitch. Here it is. And this is fouled away. Chong just got a piece of that one. That got in on the label. But Chong survives to see another pitch. So, full count. Still the situation here with runners at second and third and one out. Stanford up 6-3. They already have one run in here in this bottom of the seventh. Another 3-2. And this is bounced foul at home plate. So a nice battle here between Chong and Sasso.
It's interesting to see the difference in the bullpen warm-ups right now. If you look in the Waseda bullpen, there's a big black, like, bouncy ball thing. It looks like, but I have no idea what it is, but they're just throwing it up over their heads. And then you got all the plyos in the Stanford bullpen. It's cool.
3-2 pitch once again here to Chong. And that misses low and inside. Ball 4. So Chong with a nice at-bat. But, like we were talking about, not the end of the world for Sasso. The bases are loaded now, though, for Court McDonald. McDonald is 1 for 3 today. He singled in the first and came around to score. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the third. And then popped out to the catcher in the fifth.
Well, Waseda's thinking get an out here, get 2 outs if possible. Stanford's thinking keep the bases loaded for Rentaro Sasaki. But Waseda is bringing its infield in, not halfway, not trying to turn a double play. It looks like their main focus is that runner at home.
And McDonald takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. And with the force out, they could very well, if they bring that infield in and they get a quick ground ball, get a double play by going to home and then to first.
And I think you're thinking with McDonald's speed, a double play isn't always certain, but the run at home is.
And this is a soft line drive over the head of the shortstop Ahuchi. Stanford will go station to station, an RBI single for Court McDonald. And it's 7-3 Stanford. And you set it up, Boston. Rentaro Sasaki for the second time today will get an opportunity at the plate with the bases loaded.
Still hasn't put a ball in play today. The furthest ball he's hit was a ball that hit him, and I think this is a good chance.
So Rentaro Sasaki, the man that many of the people here today came to watch against this Waseda team. He's 0 for 2, like Austin just set up. But here he is with the bases loaded, and Sasaki, it's your show from here. Sasso is going to try to ruin the party once again. Here's the pitch, and Sasaki pops it up out to left center field, and coming in to make the play is Shune. And so Sasaki pops out, and on one pitch, Sasaki is retired, and the bases remain loaded here with 2 outs for Teddy Tokheim.
I think just as a fan of baseball, it's gotta frustrate, right? Like, I think everyone in the world, maybe even Waseda fans, want to see Sasaki come through there.
But good pitching from Sasso.
Right, they've gone away all day, and that one jammed him in on the hands.
Tokheim already has 2 RBIs today with an opportunity with the bases loaded as he fouls this down the left field side, and it's 0-1. It's just got to be such a unique experience for Rentaro Sasaki playing in this game.
Yeah, no kidding.
7-3 Stanford. They already got 2 runs here in this inning, trying to add on. Here's the pitch, and that's off the outside, 1-1. Tokheim tripled in the first. That's where he got his 2 RBIs. One pitch. And this is hit out to right center field. Going back to now, and it's going to hop up against the wall. 1 run is in. Coming around third here is McDonald. He's the 3rd run in, and into third with a triple is Tokheim. A 3 RBI bases clearing triple for Teddy Tokheim. And Stanford has blown this thing wide open. It's 10-3.
What a game for Teddy T. 2 triples, 5 ribs, and going the other way with both of it. That's been the approach for Stanford this inning, and that ball was tattooed.
Coming in to score on that play was McDonald, Chong, and McDonald.
E-I-A-I-O.
And Brock Kettleson up to the plate. Kettleson swing and misses. He was way out in front there. It's 0-1. Kettleson 1 for 2, hit a solo home run in the 4th. That one's low and outside, 1-1.
I want to see Kettleson get into a ball again. I love that swing he had back in the 4th. Now against a lefty, this is just a good opportunity to see something from a different arm slot for Stanford in this one.
1-1 pitch and a swing and a miss. Kettleson, the 9th hitter up to the plate here in this inning for Stanford.
But they wouldn't bat around.
That's true. 1-2. Here's the pitch and a foul tip. Kettleson just making contact there. Kettleson with one of the more impressive home runs we've seen in the 4th inning. 5 runs in for Stanford here in the bottom of the 7th, and this is going to go off of the catcher's glove, Ogata, and that's going to get the 6th run of the inning into home plate for Stanford on a wild pitch. So Tokheim will score, and it's 11-3 Cardinal.
Not much that Ogata could do with that one.
Yeah,
was setting down and in, popped up and away.
That was a wild pitch. 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Kettleson goes down on the slider, but the damage is done. 6-run score here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Stanford's now up 11-3. Waseda coming up here in the top of the 8th. You are watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra. New pitcher out on the hill for Stanford. It's their 8th pitcher in 8 innings, and Ben Reimers is the man who's going to get the 8th. A guy who pitched quite a bit for Stanford last year out of the bullpen. And this year, he's got a 7.71 ERA, 2 earned runs and 2 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts. Last year, Reimers made 19 appearances out of the bullpen for the Cardinal, had an 8.46 ERA and 22 1/3 innings with 18 strikeouts. First hitter Reimers will face is Aoma Ahuchi. It's 11-3 Cardinal here in the top of the 8th. First pitch to Ahuchi is high and outside, 1-0. Ahuchi 0 for 3 today. A couple of groundouts and a strikeout.
Reimer's another big, hard thrower. He's got a bunch of experience. Just looking to put it together all the way still.
Misses high, 2-0.
There was a time when he was on that 2024 team where he was really just trying to find his footing in the Cardinal bullpen. A very young team that season, and been up and down. But when he's on, he's got some of the best stuff in the conference.
2-0 pitch and a strike at the base of the zone. It's 2-1. Reimers, one of the issues he has is walks. 13 walks in 22 1/3 last year. As this slider misses inside, 3-1.
And that's something a lot of times what you'll see with these younger arms kind of turning into their veteran years, where the main thing they're asked to cut down on is the walks.
And this misses low. Ball 4 to Ahuchi.
Right on cue.
So Ahuchi gets on to start the inning here for Waseda. They have a lot of work to do, but got to start somewhere. And a leadoff walk, who knows? Nakamura Shune will come up to the plate now. He's 1 for 4.
Ahuchi just ran backwards to first.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Here's the first pitch to Shune. And this is a ground ball over to the left side. Snagged there by Gion. The throw to second for 1. The throw to first not in time. And then it gets away. And staying at first base is Shune. So that'll be a fielder's choice.
Don't think the throw to first would have been in time either way. But One down and a nice rebound from Reimers. And another nice play by Jian.
So, Osuke Yuasa will come up to the plate now. He's 1 for 2. Shune, now the runner at first. Reimers checks the runner. Comes home. And that misses low and outside. 1-0.
Good to see Stanford's bats really come through in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And again, this is a really good opportunity.
And a pickoff over at first as Reimers nabs Shune, who just got a little too far off the bag. And that's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, not something you can have down 8. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, especially when you need base runners. You do not want to get picked off. So now 2 down for Yuasa. One 0 pitch, but instead a timeout at the last moment. I think Yuasa has some bugs in his face. So, Yuasa, I hope he killed the fly.
Yeah, I hope Reimers is all right too.
Yeah, that's how a pitcher gets hurt. When they start getting going into their motion and then they have to stop abruptly. One 0 pitch. Half swing at a pitch in the dirt, and over at first base, the umpire says strike.
Yeah, I think that was pretty clear.
Yeah. So, 2-1. Excuse me, 1-1. 1-1 pitch, and that misses high and inside. 2-1.
Wonder who's going to throw the 9th for the Cardinal. No action for the first time ever today. I mean, literally since the first pitch, there's been action in the bullpen. So maybe just Reimers' game the rest of the way.
2-1 pitch, and a curveball for a strike. 2-2.
Gotten to see a lot of arms today. I thought Sam Garwell looked really good out of the bullpen. Andrew Shaw's got good stuff. Quinton Marsh, we got to see him start this game.
Hayes is playing very deep out at short. 2-2 pitch, and another curveball for a strike, and that will end the inning. Well, a walk, a fielder's choice, a pickoff, and a strikeout looking. You know what that means. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We are going to the bottom of the 8th, 11-3 Stanford. You're watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra. Another new pitcher out on the hill here for Waseda. And it is Shidiyu Saito, the right-handed pitcher. And the first hitter that he will face is Eric Gian here. Gian is 0 for 3. And he'll lead things off for the Cardinal, who are up 11-3 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Almost complete sundown. I always forget how low the lights are here at Sunken Field. Or Sunken Diamond, excuse me.
Well, as the great Ken Korek has said on many occasions, the lights are on, but they have yet to take full effect.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Saito, ready. First pitch, and that misses high, 1-0.
I'll give a throwback to a couple years ago. I believe it was Texas State, but I'm going to be called on that one if it's wrong. A pop-up by Drew Bowser that should have ended the game, and the lights are so low here that you just get lost as it gets that high. And it fell, and Stanford, I think it sent them to the Super Regionals that year.
The magic of Sunken Diamond.
Right, exactly.
1-1.
Against Texas, slightly better than Texas State. And they advanced to the College World Series, slightly better than the Super Regional.
1-1 pitch here to Gian. And that misses high, 2-1. Well, I will say, this experience of getting to call Stanford and Waseda, although the score isn't as close as you'd like to see, has been a very, very unique and one that I'm grateful for, as Jean hits this one out to left field. And dropping in front of Shune there. And Jean will go to second base, and he'll make it with a double. And another one of those bloop hits out and left that Waseda has had a hard time with.
I don't even blame them. You saw that ball in the air, and you just saw it change colors up in the sky. The lights are so low that I don't know what you can do with that one if you're Waseda. Yeah, that was a tough play. But to your point, neither of us were supposed to call this game, actually, originally. I pushed pretty hard to get on this game. I made a trade with Philip Hall, who we both know. He was supposed to be on this game. And, I'm half Japanese. I'm very proud and very connected to my Japanese culture, and so I wanted to call this game. And it was supposed to be me and Greg Wong. And then I got the text from you about a week ago, and I was with you.
Half swing and a pop-up out to right. And Takamatu is going to let it fall in front of him. So 2 bloop hits here for Stanford. Hayes with a single. And now there's runners at first and third.
I mean, you cannot see anything. You see that, right? It changes colors in the air. And that's just so difficult to play against.
Especially when you've never played here before.
Right.
And this is a Waseda team where I doubt any of these guys have ever been to the stadium before. And I doubt hardly any of them will ever play here again, really. I mean, this is such a unique and interesting circumstance with these two teams playing each other. How long has it been? You said at the beginning of the broadcast.
111 years.
111 years since these two teams have played each other. Sebastian David is 3 for 3. He's got runners at first and third. Waseda brings the infield in, and David swings and misses at a high fastball. My story of getting this game is much different than yours. I was taking my dog out on a walk. She's a 4-pound blind Yorkie named Lola.
Wow.
And I was out there. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that misses low, 1-1. And so what my parents like to do is, as soon as I show up to the house, I could be gone for days.
Right.
As soon as I show up to the house, they're just like, oh, perfect timing. The dog had to go out. 1-1 pitch, and that misses outside, 2-1. And I'm convinced they're just waiting for me to get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm taking the dog out, and I just had a track meet cancel on me for this day. And I was like, what am I going to do with myself? Because you know me, Austin. I like to always work.
Oh, yeah.
2-1 pitch, and this is a bouncer foul at the plate. And then Greg Wong texts me, and he's like, hey, would you like to do this game on Wednesday? And all I saw was Stanford baseball, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I got you. And then I started to look into the matchup, and I was like, this is even cooler than I thought.
Right.
Playing with Waseda, this is awesome. Infield in a little bit. 2-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss. David goes down on strikes.
Yeah, I was not like that. That is not how this came up. I was not originally supposed to be on the game, and then I don't even remember what it was. I think it might have been like mid-February, or mid-January, excuse me. I texted Philip, who I saw was on the game, and I offered him a trade. I told him what the game meant to me, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So he took baseball from me later in the year.
Shout out Philip Hall as McDonald swings and misses at 0-1.
But then I also work at West Valley, and our baseball game that was scheduled for yesterday got moved to today. And so big thanks to my boss over there, John Valajos, for the opportunity to still take this game, knowing how much it meant to be. So, very grateful.
This hits the outside corner. It's 0-2. So, Quinton Marsh, who is due up next, actually took the catcher's spot on defense. And he's on deck. McDonald is technically a DH right now. Here's the pitch, and McDonald takes off the outside, 1-2. At least that's what it says here on the box score. You got the same thing there, Austin? It's been kind of a confusing game with all the...
Sure. They're all just hitters at this point. Not even designated, just hitters.
Runners at first and third. Here's the 1-2. And that misses in the dirt, 2-2.
Saito is very loud on the mound, and I love it. You can hear him. He's firing with all his might, and he's saying some words as the ball crosses the plate.
He's like some of those tennis players.
Right, yeah.
2-2, 1 out. Runners at first and third. Gian's the runner at third. Hayes is the runner at first. Pitch to McDonald, and McDonald takes in the dirt, 3-2. Marsh is on deck. And I'm sure he'd love to hit with the bases loaded.
And again, get Sasaki back up. Find a way. He's 5 batters away right now.
3-2. And that misses high and inside, ball 4. So the bases are loaded as McDonald has another good at that. After a double in the 7th, he walks here in the 8th. And Quinton Marsh will indeed get a shot here with the bases loaded. Marsh 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the 7th.
Thought he looked good on the mound too. Threw a 0 early on in this one.
Gian, the runner at 3rd. Hayes, the runner at 2nd. McDonald, the runner at 1st. Here's the first pitch to Marsh. And Marsh takes high and outside. 1-0. So Saito in a jam here. 1-0 pitch. And ooh, that misses. 2-0.
Could have been called. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. 50-50 zone. So 2-0 the count here to Marsh. He's in a good hitter's count. The base is loaded. Here's the pitch. And there's a strike right down the middle of the plate. It's 2-1. What's the main street in Stanford? Because, you know, you always hear right down Main Street. I like to give it a little geographic style. You have to research that. 2-1 pitch. And this is popped out of play. 2-2.
What are some of the geographic streets that you've used?
Well, when I'm at Santa Clara, I say right down the Alameda.
Okay.
And then when I'm at Menlo College, right down the El Camino Real.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
When I'm in Southern California, right down whatever freeway I'm near.
Right.
2-2 to Marsh. And strike 3 called right down the middle of the plate there. Marsh didn't like it, but he'll walk back over to the dugout. 2 outs here in the 8th.
I'll drop right down Broadway on a call, and a couple summers ago, one of my good friends who I was broadcasting with, who I'm not going to say their name on this broadcast because I don't want to embarrass him, but he didn't know what Broadway was. Like, he didn't know what, like, the street or, like, musical theater, as a profession.
Well, you didn't know who the Doors were.
Yeah, that's fair. I should have seen that one coming.
Chong up to the plate. He's 1 for 2. And he takes low, 1-0. Chong walked in the 1st, came around to score. Singled in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 5th, and walked again in the 7th, and came around to score. He's got the bases loaded here with 2 outs. Stanford already up 11-3, but more runs are always useful. Here's the pitch, and that misses inside, 2-0. Chong had to duck out of the way of that one.
Haven't been to an night game here in a while. I did forget how much the lights altered things here. It's pretty dim even on the field of play.
It's also incredible how much it cools down
right
at night here. 2-0 pitch, and this is a ground ball over to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Yuasu. Nice play over there. Throws out the runner at 1st, and that will end the inning. We are going to the top of the 9th, and my main man Austin Ota will take you the rest of the way. After this break, 11-3 Stanford. You are watching college baseball here on ACC Network Extra.
Top of the 9th inning, last licks for Waseda. It's 3-4-5 in the Bears lineup. It looks like they'll send in a pinch hitter. Juntaro Yamane will lead off the inning for the Bears against Mike Ersbaumer, who's already thrown 3 times this year, guy. That's an option to close, and I think that's exactly what David Esker's doing here, is saying, hey, Mike, this is a 1-run game. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you hear all the time about how closers need to, get their work in, and, closing is a very interesting situation where, there may not be a safe situation for weeks at a time, and that could be for many different reasons. So, like you said, this is a situation where Ersbaumer can come in and kind of try to simulate that kind of save situation, get some work, and hopefully sharpen up as Stanford gets ready to play some tough opponents going forward here in their NCAA season.
So Juntaro Yamane will pinch hit. Yamane, Terao, and Tokumaru against the lefty, Mike Ersbaumer, the freshman, who, again, could be an option to close for the Cardinal, leading 11-3, and Ersbaumer's first pitch misses down low for ball 1. This does act like a midweek game, even though we haven't seen a good amount of Stanford starters not named Rintaro Sasaki. 1-0 pitch, Ersbaumer. a fastball for strike one. So Yamane leading off here in the top of the ninth. 1-1. Slider spins him back. Yamane did not play yesterday, so getting a lick here near the end of his trip. I called the player at an NAI school a couple years ago named Taiga Yamane.
Ooh.
Good name. 2-1 pitch. Big curveball on the inside corner. 2-2. Yamane is senior second baseman in a 2-2 count against Earthbomber. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three on a sword on the outside. And that is nasty from Earthbomber.
Yeah, Earthbomber had Yamane all tied up in knots there. So Yamane gets one at bat, and unfortunately has to face a very nasty pitcher in Earthbomber.
That'll bring up Kensei Terao, center fielder, who walked his first two times up, then grounded into a double play and lined out to short. First pitch, up and away with the fastball, 1-0.
I'm trying to figure out what other countries have college baseball.
Not sure. Canada does.
That's true.
UBC is disgusting at baseball.
They're
like,
really
disgusting in a good way. 1-0 pitch is a little high to
Well, they're NAIA, right?
So they are NAIA, but I was talking to some guys at Bushnell University, which is a small college just off the campus of the University of Oregon, where I called Taiga Yamane a couple years ago. But they were playing UBC, and basically they said they operate like a D1 because they are where all of the top-level Canadian recruits will go.
We gotta get UBC down here for a
That would be fun.
Yeah,
UBC's really good. They have a couple of guys drafted most years. I think it was the Hepner brothers when I was there, Sean and Ryan Hepner. I want to say at least one or two of them got, or I think at least one of them got drafted. Yeah, Ryan Hepner by the Braves in the 19th round. Terao flies this one foul off to the right.
and you know baseball's hot in Canada right now. I mean, especially with the Blue Jays making it to the World Series this last year. So
Should have won.
well, I mean, that's of course the Bay Area perspective.
Oh, yeah. 3-2 pitch. Little roller to the left side. Eric John's been busy. He's looked smooth like that all day. 2 down.
You know, it's funny, when the Dodgers won the 2020 championship, you know, I came up with every reason I could to, like, call that championship a fraud.
It was.
But now that these last two, I have nothing. Aside from the fact that, you know, they've just spent a lot of money. But I can't really roast them for that because it's like, I wish my favorite team would spend that much money.
Exactly. So a pinch hitter. It's Yuta Sakaguchi. First pitch to him. And he watches one right down Broadway for strike one. Sakaguchi waiting on the 0-1, and Earthbomber delivers a curveball, and it's 0-2. So, Waseda down to its last strike in this one. Earthbomber already has struck out one batter, looking for back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Cardinal pitching, and that was nasty. Went to the back foot with the slider, and Stanford takes this exhibition matchup 11-3 final.
Very fun to get to call this game. Waseda and Stanford, something that we haven't seen for over 100 years, and who knows when we're going to get to see it again. And for Stanford, a great performance today from Teddy Tokheim, a pair of multiple RBI triples, 2 RBI triple in the first, 3 RBI triple in the 7th. He knocks in 5 of the 11 runs here for the Cardinal. And then overall, 9 pitchers today in the game, and 6 of those 9 pitchers went scoreless. So I would say that for Stanford, great day here at the Yard against Waseda. And for Waseda, they'll continue their tour after losing to Stanford here today.
So, a really nice ovation from the Waseda faithful, from the Stanford faithful that were here in this game, just acknowledging how incredible it is that these two teams get to face each other for the first time in over 100 years. And the Stanford team as well, all very respectful of the opposition. Both of these teams giving handshakes and congratulating each other on this tour. So, Stanford takes this one 11-3. The Cardinal will be back in action on Friday to take on Fresno State. And if you don't want to listen to anyone else on your airwaves, Kyle Morrison will be back on Saturday.
I will. I'll be back with Jordan Watkins. That's going to be a lot of fun. Austin, I'm sure I'm going to see you again down the line pretty soon.
Sometime, maybe. We never know. So, Stanford takes down Waseda 11-3, the final. For Kyle Morrison, I'm Austin Oda saying thank you and so long here from Kleinfield at Sunken Diamond as the Cardinal win 11-3, the final.